Delaware State, Northwestern State, next. When you come to the state of Louisiana this time of year, two things are for certain. It's going to be sticky, and everybody loves their college football. Hello, once again, everybody. Welcome to CSTV's Football Nation, Delaware State and Northwestern State, alongside Chris Ricks. I am Jonathan Coachman, and we have a couple of teams that come in tonight that are at two completely different ends of the spectrum. Delaware State 2-0, Northwestern State 0-2. However, Chris, Northwestern State's record a little bit, well, a lot misleading.
It's been very misleading, JC. This is a very talented team. They're finally back at home. You forget that they started on the road with two very tough opponents at Kansas and at Baylor. Very tough Division I opponents, and 34 has been the number. They've been outscored by 34 points on an average in both games, but also on an average as far as yards have only been outgained by 34 yards. So misleading as far as the opponents they've played strong, but came up short in those games.
And speaking of playing strong, they have played very well on the defensive side of the ball. It starts up front with a couple of studs.
Yes, it does. This Demon defense is led by two very strong seniors, number 92, Ed Queen, number 51, Torrey Collins. These guys have wreaked havoc on their side of the ball for this Demon defense. They're going to have to make some big plays today and lead this defense if they're going to have a chance today.
And you talk about wreaking havoc. How about a guy that leads Delaware State? Last week, he was near perfect.
Well, we take a look at the numbers here for Vashawn Winton. He's been very efficient this year. This past week, was the MEAC Player of the Week. Last year, the Rookie of the Year in the conference. We see him 302 yards, 4 touchdowns on the year. So he leads this offense. Queen and Collins are going to have a busy job today containing this quarterback.
Well, certainly Delaware State wants to continue on their perfect road this season. Northwestern State, they are just happy to be at home. Something's got to give. Delaware State.
Stay at 7 on CSTV. Watch Michigan.
Delaware State, Northwestern State just about set for the kickoff. There you see number 39, Josh Bright. Northwestern State has won the toss, has elected to receive. They will be moving left to right. Delaware State in their road white, Northwestern State in their home purple. Back to receive Greg Skidmore and C.L. Grogan alongside Chris Ricks, Jonathan Coachman. Here we go. And maybe we don't. Figure this out before the kickoff even gets started. So pleased you could join us here tonight on CSTV Football Nation for Delaware State and Northwestern State from Natchitoches, Louisiana.
And it is a hot one, JC. I remember this weather when I played. I do not enjoy it.
It is sticky, but we will get through it. High end-over-end kick comes down to Grogan at the 5. He cuts it up the middle, 20. He still has beat. He's going to 30, 35, a couple men to beat. He cuts it back upfield. Past the 50, inside the 45, and a fantastic return. And what a way to kick off the home season. A flag is down on the field for Northwestern State.
Well, that's definitely what starts. Way to get this crowd in the football game. Nice return. Hits the hole. You like when you see a return guy just hit the hole, not really dance. He finds his gap. Got one man to beat there, but a good job on the Hornets recovering, able to catch him, or else he would have been gone, JC.
Well, we'll see what the call is down on the field. Well, they're going to add a personal foul face mask onto the end of the run. There you see the starting quarterback for Northwestern State, Ricky Joe Meeks. And he is a quarterback tonight that the coaches have made very clear from Northwestern State. He is on a very, very short leash. So it'll be first down at 10, all the way down at the Delaware State 30-yard line. I formation, two wide receivers to the near side. Hand off to the second back, Curry breaks one tackle, all the way down at the 25. Let's take a quick look at tonight's starters. First on the offensive side of the ball, and Greg Skidmore is the guy that you're going to be calling a lot of tonight.
Yeah, so we're going to see Adam Varnado in the game. Ben Bailey was supposed to start at flanker. He sprained his ankle in practice on Thursday, so you're going to see a lot of number 84, Adam Varnado, out there at the flanker position.
On that first run, it was number 22, Byron Lawrence. They use a trio of different running backs for Northwestern State, so we'll be calling a lot of numbers here tonight. Lawrence again gets the second call of the night. He gets down to the 22, so it'll bring up a third down and 2 for Northwestern State. Now a quick look at the starting defense for the 2-0 Hornets. And they play a 3-4, and probably that's going to match up pretty well against the 50-50 offense from Northwestern State.
Yeah, and they got a stud pair of linebackers in the middle with Kewan Miller and Russell Reeves. Look for those guys to shoot the gaps a lot tonight. Also, Pope, another linebacker out there. They have a 4-linebacker set, so a lot of pressure to try to shut down that Demon running game.
First third down of the night. here in this initial drive for Northwestern State. Handoff to Lawrence again. He gets the first 3 calls of the night. A big hole opens over the right side and plenty of room for the first down. The chains will move, and first trip into the red zone for Northwestern State.
Nice job again by Lawrence hitting the hole. He's gotten the first 3 calls of this game. He's pumped up. He's ready to go. First running plays at home this season. Does a nice job as far as penetrating, not doing a lot of dancing before he hits that hole.
There you see number 38, Austin, into the game. Lawrence in the game. Skidmore will be the 3rd down back and 2nd and long back for Northwestern State. First down and 10 from the 16 of the Hornets. And Makes gets pressured and underthrows his receiver. That was Austin coming out of the backfield. The pass falls incomplete. It'll bring up a 2nd down.
And that's tough when you come around after a play action and you see a defensive end right in your face to get your body turned and get the ball out there, as Meeks tried to do to his fullback, Austin. Tough job. You can see he didn't have enough arm strength and momentum to get the ball out to his back.
So 2nd down and long. A very muggy evening. It was raining earlier, but the skies had cleared, so it should be a beautiful night for football here in southern Louisiana. Ed Meeks hands off to Lawrence. Straight up the middle again. A hole is filled very quickly. He gets inside the 15, down to about the 12. So another 3rd down opportunity for the Demon offense.
And we've seen Lawrence a lot. Expect to see a lot of running backs for this Demon backfield today. Number 20, Patrick Earl, Greg Skidmore. You're going to see him on a lot of 3rd downs. So they like to rotate their running backs, keep their running backs fresh for this Demon offense.
3rd down and 7. The play clock is down to 15. 3rd down and 7. Northwestern State needs to get down to the Hornet 11-yard line for a first down. Meeks marking out the signals. He's back to pass. Looking flushed out to the left. He's got a man open in the end zone. Decides to keep it himself, and he is crushed by 3 Delaware State defenders, and he is knocked down at the 17, maybe a gain of 1, but that's going to bring up a field goal opportunity for the Demons.
And we see Meeks here trying to get outside, make something happen. He's got number 17, Chris Miller, in the back of the end zone waving his arms, but he's also got pressure in his face, so he's not able to keep his head up and find his receiver. Tries to protect the ball, but takes a big shot in the process.
So Meeks goes down, which brings Robert Weeks into the game. I didn't have to wait too long to say that one tonight, Chris.
Meeks and Weeks.
It's 5 for 6 on the year, as long as 43. This attempt will be for 30. And the lead, snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So you could not have asked for a better start for Northwestern State. A great kickoff return turns into a field goal. Delaware State gets their chance for the first time when we come back. Hard field goal by that man right there, Mr. Meeks, has put Northwestern State on top 3-0 over Delaware State. 7-play, 18-yard drive, 3:35 is the time elapsed. So Northwestern State did exactly what they wanted to do, a great kickoff return, turned it into points.
And that's something you like to see, your special teams. When you have a chip shot like that early in the game, an opportunity to get on the board on your first drive, that's something that makes the special teams coach very happy when his kicker can go out there with no pressure, just put it through the uprights and get your team on the board.
So Lee Scott will kick off for Northwestern State. Back to return the kick, Gaddafi Tunsil, number 9, and Brandon Hudson, 5'10", 180-pound freshman from Georgetown, Delaware. This is only the 3rd time that these 2 teams have met. Back in 2002, 2003, they met on the field as well. So here we go, 3-0 Northwestern State. And the ball is in the air. A low wobbly kick comes down to an up man at the 17, straight up the middle to the 25, breaks through to the 35, and a nice return by number 40, the up man, Eric Sewell. So very good starting field position for the Hornets and Bashawn Winton.
And we talk about field position. That's something that has hurt both of these teams early on in the season. They've been able to hold their opponents when they've been on their side of the field, but when they give up that good field position for their opponents have been able to take advantage of that. So look for field position to be very important in this ball game tonight. There we see a shot of Bashawn Winton. We talked about him in the opening. Very talented quarterback. He is the leader of this offense.
There was a procedure penalty called on the kicking team that was tacked on to the end of the run, so it'll be taken out to the 43-yard line. That's where Delaware State will take over. And we talked about Bashawn being nearly flawless a week ago, the player of the week in his conference. And we'll see exactly how sharp he is, because sometimes when you have a great game, you have a tendency to think you're going to do that every single week.
Oh, yeah.
Flags fly on the first play from scrimmage for Delaware State. Let's take a look at the offensive starters for the Hornets. And we talked about Winton already, but he's going to throw it a lot to Shahir McBride, number 1.
There we see a nice shot of Shahir McBride. So far in the season, 9 catches, 206 yards, 4 touchdowns. That was just last week versus St. Francis, so he is the go-to guy. Look for him to make a lot of big plays this evening.
And the offensive line very big up front, with the exception of Kirby, who comes in at 265.
And they're led up there by the center, Nick Richmond. He was a MEAC OL lineman of the week this past week, so strong line up front.
So first down and 15. The ball is handed off to the lone carry out of the backfield, and stuffed after only 1 yard is Delaware State. Let's take a look at the defense, and we feature 2 off the top, but these 2 guys are not the only very fast defensive guys for Northwestern State.
No, this defensive line is very talented. They've got a lot of leaders. Obviously, we talked about Queen, we talked about Collins, but you talk about O'Brien and Brooks. I mean, these 4 up front are very talented, and they wreak havoc on the defensive side of the ball.
And also, keep an eye on number 3, Russ Washington, who is a stud in that defensive backfield as well. So second down and 15 for Delaware State. And a little miscommunication. McBride was going one way, the pass was going the other. It falls incomplete. So third down and long in this initial drive for the Hornets.
Not sure where Winton was going with that ball. He had a slant, then he had an out and up. It looked like he was trying to throw the out and up, but it was nowhere near his receiver. Got to put more air on that ball and let your receiver get to that spot where the pass is going to be.
Well, they're calling it Separation Saturday throughout the country. A huge Saturday of college football. So pleased you can join us here on CSTV Football Nation. He is Chris Ricks. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is Delaware State and Northwestern State right here on CSTV. From the shotgun formation, Winton back to pass. The screen pass, he's got a man wide open. He's got one blocker down there, uses it well, gets knocked down at the 48. We'll see where they spot it. They look to be just short of the first down, just past midfield.
Well executed play by this Delaware State offense. You see Winton buy a little time, get outside the pocket, and just wait for his back, Emmanuel Mark, to get out there in the flat. He's got a blocker out there, is able to pick up a lot of yards, close to a first down. Nicely executed.
And Coach Lavin from Delaware State's not going to take any chances here early on. He brings on the punting unit. And your punter, Josh Bright, who does a majority of the kicking duties for these Hornets.
I hear he's smart, JC. I hear he's a bright guy.
Check that one off.
You love it, JC.
Well, you know I do. You know that I do. Well, a fake punt going straight up the middle, and not a whole lot of yardage, but it looks to be enough. The up man took it, but there is a flag down on the play here on the near side. It would have been enough for a first down, but wait a second.
Well, you see Delaware State here trying to do a little trickery, some movement up front. And that formation there, can't do that. Miss an opportunity there when you pick up a first down. Tough break. Now they're obviously going to have to punt it away.
There you see Coach Alton Al Lavin in his 3rd season at Delaware State. And you got to appreciate the fact that he took the risk, but here, 4th and 6, you got to believe he's not going to do it again. So now Bright back to punt. Northwestern State back on their 10 to receive. And that ball is a very bad kick, ends up in the stands. And it's going to be marked all the way up past the 35, up near the 40. Northwestern State gets it for the 2nd time when we come back.
This sea underwater.
We thought it would take forever.
Made here in the first quarter, Northwestern State on top 3-0. Well, I mentioned earlier that these two teams have met twice before, 4 years ago, 2002, 2003, and both blowouts by Northwestern State.
Demons really handled the Hornets the past 2 times they've played them. It's been a few years since these teams have played, but obviously you see Northwestern State has the edge. They're looking to go 3-0 this evening.
When you talk about Division I AA programs, Chris, you know, Northwestern State is a team that loves to play Division I A opponents, and now that the Division I A teams have 12 games on their schedule, are allowed to play 12, the Division I AA opponent comes into play a lot more than it used to.
And I think it's good. It gives them a good opportunity. You see some of these Division I teams, they have to get that extra game, so they like to schedule someone who they think is going to be, you know, an easy win or a rollover, and it gives these teams opportunities to play top-quality opponents.
Stoker in his 5th season here at Northwestern State, also started here back in the 80s. And Weeks is going to go down all the way back at the 30. On first down, it's going to be a loss of almost 12. Big number 90, number 92, 94, excuse me, 98, Jamal Jones. We are way high up here. There we go. We got to take a look at the replay to see we are way high up here on the campus of Northwestern State. Go ahead, Chris. Well, I figure out what the heck I'm doing over here.
Surprised to see Meeks not throw that ball away. Couldn't get anyone. Takes a big loss on the play.
It's going to be 2nd down and forever. They have to get all the way to the 48 of Delaware State. Handoff to Skidmore out of the backfield. He cuts up past the 45, up near the 50, and inside of Delaware State territory, and ridden down at the 49. And a nice 2nd down pickup, and nearly enough for the first down. We'll see exactly where they marked it.
And now we get a look at the talented senior Greg Skidmore. Big 3rd down back, but they bring him in on 2nd down. Nice job getting outside. Wasn't a lot there. I thought he was going to get jammed inside, but gets outside, picks up a nice gain, very close to a 1st down.
There you see the 5'8", 173-pound senior. It'll bring him a 3rd down and 1 from the 49 of the Demons. Lawrence is back in there in the backfield behind Meeks. Movement all over the line. The tight end moved, and we'll see if they were drawn off or if Delaware State jumped.
Well, what happened there was the defensive line actually moved, and it almost was a trap for the offensive line. Once they saw the defensive line move, they moved. And as long as that defensive line doesn't cross the plane and touch anyone, they can move all they want. But the offensive line, if they move at all, they're going to call it on the offense every time. That's what we saw there. They fell into the trap on the defensive lineman movement.
So now instead of 3rd down and 1, it'll bring 3rd down and 6. Ball moved back to the 46 of the Demons. Meeks back to pass. He's got a man going over the middle. He connects. And it looks to be just enough for the 1st down. He connects with his wide receiver, number 9, Derek Doyle.
Nice execution by Meeks. This is something we're seeing a lot of in this day of college football. A lot of dragging routes. Not so many teams relying on the vertical game. They're able to execute it very well. Derek Doyle comes across, and Meeks buys a little time with the pressure. There was a blitz coming off the edge. He sat in there, waited for his receiver. Doyle gave him a nice pass, one body in front, and Doyle able to pick up the 1st down.
They needed to get just to the 48. That's exactly what they got. So a new set of downs, 1st down and 10 from the 48. 3 wide receivers for the Demons, and Ricky Joe Meeks, one of the great names in all Division I AA football. He's got a man streaking down the middle of the field. He's wide open. The catch is made all the way down at the 11-yard line. Number 81, Jimmy McKee, made the diving catch, and Northwestern State is back in business.
Nicely executed by Meeks. Nice play action, sits back there. He's got his receiver on a wide open post route, and on a post, you want to give your guy a chance. Put it up there with air, not throw it flat, because the flatter you throw that ball, the littler that the margin of error is. He puts it up there with air, allows his receiver to catch up with it and make a nice diving catch.
Meeks to McKee, good for 35 yards. And now Northwestern State for the 2nd time in a row inside the red zone. Handoff to Lawrence. He's got room on the outside, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. Touchdown, Demons.
And a late hit out of bounds, JC, on that Hornet defense.
Flag down on the play. We'll see if that is indeed the call.
See a nice run bouncing outside here. Lawrence, he's got it. You see Meeks behind him raising his arm. You see when he steps out of bounds here, he gets pushed late. You cannot take out your frustration on a play like that. It costs your team yards on the kickoff.
The 11-yard touchdown is good for Byron Lawrence. And if Northwestern State drew up the way they wanted this game to start, this is exactly how they would have done it. Now, pinning the extra point, they're set to go up 10-0 here early in the 1st quarter.
There you see a shot of Lawrence. Nice running today. He's been the go-to guy for this Demon offense. Gets in the end zone there with ease.
Weeks in for the extra point. The Demons and this home crowd here for the first time this year, having started the year on the road at Kansas and at Baylor. Certainly happy to be home, and these hometown fans are loving the way that this thing started. Snap is good, hold is good, kick straight down the middle. So the Demons, a perfect start to this game. 2 possessions, 2 scores. 7:36 remains. Northwestern State on top of Delaware State by 10. Come on back. We are back. Northwestern State on top of Delaware State 10-0 after that Byron Lawrence 11-yard touchdown. Let's take a look back at that 35-yard reception, Meeks to McKee.
Well, here you see Meeks does a good job as far as getting back, setting up the play. And what I want to focus on is the angle of the pass on a post. When he throws it up there, freeze it, guys. You want to throw the ball here, not down here. Let's start it back up. He throws it at a nice angle, not just at the receiver, but again, downfield, and allows the receiver to catch up with it and make a nice diving catch. Gives his receiver a chance to catch the ball.
And set up that 11-yard touchdown by Byron Lawrence. Take a look at the scoring drive. 5 plays, 58 yards, just over 2 minutes, and the official 12-yard touchdown run by Lawrence. And that personal foul will be tacked on to the kickoff. So Northwestern State will kick off from the 50. Hudson and Tunsil back to receive again for Delaware State. And a very short kickoff, and a fair catch is called for by the Horns at their 17. So Bashawn Winton, this is a spot that this team has not been in this year, and right now so far total yards absolutely dominated by the Demons.
No, and they've been down. You know, they've been cruising so far this season. Now they're down 10-0. Like you said, JC, an unfamiliar spot. Let's see how this offense, led by Bashawn Winton, responds. They need to get on the board with at least a field goal and definitely cannot force another turnover.
We are exactly halfway through this first quarter in Natchitoches, Louisiana, on the campus of Northwestern State University. So pleased you could join us this week on CSTV Football Nation on Separation Saturday. We have separated ourselves from our jackets and probably our ties here in a second because it is sticky up in here. Handoff to the second back through, up past the 20, good for about 3 yards for the Hornets.
And you talk about the weather, JC. For someone that's not familiar, you're watching this game around the country and you haven't been to the South, imagine when you get out of the shower and the bathroom is full of steam, you can't see the mirror, very muggy, almost feels like we're in a sauna and we're not even playing in the game.
Second down and 7. Second down and 7 for Delaware State. 5 wideouts, nobody in the backfield for Wynn. He throws it out, wide receiver screen, nice blocking out past the 30 to the 33, and knocked out there and good for a first down yardage is Delaware State. When you talk about a hometown advantage, home field advantage, Northwestern State over the years is very, very tough.
Well, they've been very effective, and we see there they've won 10 out of their last 11 home openers. So we see the home field advantage, and they've started tough on the road, you know, playing at Kansas, playing at Baylor. They're very happy to be here at home in their home opener because you see what the results have been in the past when they're in their own friendly confines.
And later on this year, they go on the road to Ole Miss as well. So certainly they will play any and all comers when it comes to the Hornets. Now, wide open, straight up the middle, and still on his feet inside the 45, down to the 41 for Delaware State. Wow, what a run by Emmanuel Mark. And here's a guy that when you talk about their ground game, he has to get it going to open up the passing game.
And what Coach Al Lavin's trying to do now is take a little pressure off his quarterback, give it to the senior tailback in Emmanuel Mark, gets a big run here, is able to break some tackles and really fight for those yards. That's what you like to see your running back do, break tackles, not go down when someone touches him right at first, is able to fight through those and pick up extra yards for their offense.
That last run, good for 26 yards and a first down. All the way down at the 41 of Northwestern State.
Not a bad average, 11 yards a carry, JC.
Not bad. I think anybody would take that. So now they are resetting the play clock back to 25, and we'll be back to action. Clock at 6:10. I think there's a misconception. I think they want to reset the 25-second clock for the first 3 or 4 times.
Probably.
So we are about set to get back to action. The play clock is reset. And now Delaware State has 3 wide receivers, and Mark is the lone running back in the backfield next to Winton. Winton again to Mark straight at the middle. This time nowhere to go. The interior line from Northwestern State stacks up number 33. Maybe a half a yard on the gain. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 9.
And you see this Demon defense really feeding off the momentum so far in this game. Their offense, special team has done a good job as far as giving them that momentum. They're really taking advantage of the tempo, playing at home. You know, something that really hurt them, you know, against Baylor. I mean, the penalties, the turnovers, and that's something that Coach Stoker is not going to put up with anymore. So hopefully, if you're a Demon fan, they're a lot more comfortable today in their home stadium.
And there you saw big number 92, Ed Queen, who made the stop on the last play. He is the anchor of that Northwestern State defensive line. And the fake to Mark this time, he's got a man coming out and just a little bit too far. Intended out there for number 85, Dennis Savage, but went and led his receiver just a little bit too much. So a big 3rd down and 9 coming up for the Hornets.
And a nice job by number 51, Torrey Collins, the defensive tackle we talked about. He did not bite on that fake there. You see, he's not fooled by the fake. He stays home on the quarterback. That does not allow Bashawn Witten to have time to get outside the pocket and make an accurate pass.
You know, Chris, we're starting to see a lot even tonight, stuff that we've seen throughout the first few weeks with the new rules and the play clock changes, that teams are going with the hurry-up offense a lot more than what they would have done in the past.
Well, they're really having to because of the pace. The play clock is going. They don't have all that time to huddle and take their time anymore.
Witten back to pass, and he's getting rushed, and he's going to go down. He's going to go down. Number 58, Ray Martin, was the first man there, and he takes Witten down all the way back at the 45. They brought the house, and they shut the door. A 10-yard loss on the play.
Well, there you see Torrey Collins again, and not just Collins alone. That whole Demon defensive line coming strong. What Witten's got to do there, when he feels that pressure, he doesn't have a receiver open, he's got to throw the ball away. He's outside of the pocket, throw in the vicinity of a receiver rather than taking that big loss. Obviously, it's going to force them to punt the football.
Delaware State and Josh Bright will punt away. Back to receive, Jamal Jackson, standing at his own 10 for Northwestern State.
Don't think they'll fake this one, Jason.
You don't think so on 4th and forever? Snap is good. Bright gets it away. A low wobbly kick comes down to Jackson at the 11. He's got room to run. He cuts it straight up the middle to the 25, to the 30. Rode down there at the 35. In on the tackles, Alameo Wilder. So good field position to start for Northwestern State. You know, CSTV, this isn't the first time that we've been here. No. We came a couple of years ago when Northwestern State took on McNeese State, and it was all Demons all the time.
Oh, if you're a Northwestern State fan, you like CSTV. The way they played the last time we were here and covering, not you and me personally,
no.
JC, but CSTV, they played very well, blowing at McNeese State, very well executed in that game, and really showed who they are. So I think they like having us here today.
Yeah, 47-17 was the final that night. And right now, the Demons are back on their way to another blowout if things continue to go the way they are right now. Running over the left side up past the 40 to the 41 is Patrick Earl, his first call of the evening. And that'll be good for 6 yards and a big 6-yard gain on first down as we approach 3.5 minutes to go here in this first quarter.
We had a side angle. We could see there the defensive line. That's where we were talking about earlier. The nose guard jumped over the line. Ronan Spinner jumped over, almost touched someone, didn't touch anyone, was able to get back before the ball was snapped. You take a look here right at the middle on top of the football. He crosses the ball, doesn't touch anyone, and is able to get back. That's why there's no penalty. If there would have been contact or if the ball would have been snapped, it would have been encroachment on the defense, but he's able to get back and avoid the penalty.
Number 95, Tyron Hurst. And because of the weather tonight, how sticky it is, how hot it is, you're going to see a lot of guys rotate in, rotate out to keep them fresh so they can play an entire 4 quarters. We've seen a lot here early on all over college football, a lot of players cramping up. Still more
technical
difficulties with the clock, and they're going to reset it as the clock here on the field is under 3.5 minutes.
Reset the game clock to 3:35. Turn the 25 seconds. Play clock out.
Chris, what does it seem like wherever we go, the technical difficulties follow?
Well, it's still early in the season. The people up in the booth, everyone's still getting used. I mean, it's been a year since they've really operated everything, so they're still getting used to their jobs as well.
And now the clock on the field, instead of going to 3:35, is at 24 seconds. So somehow we lost 3 minutes in the equation. But once again, while we try to get that fixed, we can tell you that he is Chris Ricks. I'm Jonathan Coachman. We are in Natchitoches, Louisiana, on the campus of Northwestern State. Delaware State coming into tonight's game 2-0. The Demons from Northwestern State 0-2 with losses in week 1 and 2 to Kansas and Baylor from the Big 12. Here you see Turpin Stadium, a good crowd has come out here tonight for the home opener. A place that Northwestern State loves to play at, loves to play in, and they are very, very here at home.
And you talk about Northwestern State, that loss to Baylor. They had 20 penalties, 5 turnovers, 9 of those penalties being false starts. So something that Coach Stoker really emphasized in practice this past week was discipline, watching the ball, and avoiding all the big penalties.
Well, folks, conference rivals meet on the volleyball court tomorrow at 6 Eastern when Colorado State travels to Salt Lake City to meet up with Utah in a Mountain West showdown. Both the Utes and the Rams are expected to compete for the conference crown this season, so tune in to catch all the action. It's the AVCA Match of the Week, only right here on CSTV. So still trying to get the clock issues taken care of. And I believe that we finally figured things out. Referee Lester McCloudy tells Richie Joe Meeks, let's get it going. So now back to action after that lengthy delay. 2nd down and 5 at their own 40 for the Demons. One back in the backfield. He gets the handoff and tripped up back there very nicely. Number 20, Patrick Earl, gets the call again. And shooting straight through there nicely all the way back to the 37. He'll bring up a 3rd down.
And that falls on Chris Miller, number 17, the receiver. If you saw him right there on the edge, misses the block, it enables the defense to come in there and make the play. That's where even if you're a receiver, your job isn't only just to catch the football. You've got to block for your running back.
Gaddafi Tunsil shooting through there with a nice play for Delaware State. So now 3rd down and 9. Clock is moving, approaching 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. 4 wide receivers for Meeks. Takes a snap out of the shotgun. Throws it down the far side. He's got a man wide open to the 35, to the 30, inside the 25, and a beautiful pass and catch out there on the receiving end. Adam Varnado makes the beautiful catch, takes it inside the 25, and again, Northwestern State, wait a second, there is a flag down, and it's going to come back holding on the Demons. So bring it all the way back. But I guess the one positive you can take away from it, Chris, is that Meeks is throwing the ball very nicely tonight.
He is, and you saw there. You saw there the formation, the bunch formation out there. It's a very nice executed play. We're seeing a lot of teams doing that, where you have guys splitting out. We can see it here. Bunch formation here, right outside, right in this area, right here, the 3 receivers, something you see USC and a lot of those high-powered offenses doing. Everyone splits, and it's very tough for the defense to make those adjustments. They're able to see Vernado come out open on the corner route, and Meeks does a nice job just putting a nice corner pass out there, having his receiver wait on that football.
So instead of 1st down all the way down to 25, we'll bring it back to the 25 of Northwestern State, and 3rd down and long. 1st down is all the way up at the 45. Meeks, he's got a man over the middle. Passes caught at the 33, up past the 35 to the 38. Greg Skidmore out of the backfield, but it will be well short of the 1st down and a punt opportunity for the Demons.
Skidmore could have gotten outside there. He had a lot of running room outside. I think he could have picked up that 1st down. Chose to cut it inside. And that Hornet defense does a nice job recovering and holding him short of the 1st down.
Marshall Burton on to punt for the Demons. Back to receive the punt, Brandon Hudson for Delaware State, standing at his own 20. So Northwestern State appeared to be set to go in for yet another score, but the huge holding penalty results in a punt. And the Hornets will, at least at the moment, avoid another score by the Demons. Burton, a low end-over-end kick. Hudson lets it bounce at the 28. It takes a sideward bounce, and it'll be down right there at the 28. So Winton and his offense will come on to take over for the 3rd time. Well, what to know about tomorrow's stars right now? Prep football expert Tom Lemon scours the country's high school campuses, introducing you to all the players who will lead the next generation of gridiron superstars. It's all on Tom Lemming's Generation Next, presented by Under Armour, Thursday night at 6:30 Eastern, only on CSTV. And if there's one person that knows more about everything when it comes to the high school atmosphere in football, it is Mr. Tom Lemming. So you don't want to miss that.
He's been covering high school a while. He was covering me when I was playing high school football, JC.
Well, Lemming's been around for a long, long time. Well, here we go. Wasting no time. Winton to Mark out of the backfield. Ooh. A nice cut back inside. Gains about 5 extra yards before he's cut down up at the 32. So a good 5-yard gain on first down.
There we see emotions getting a little high down there. Emmanuel Mark looks like he dropped something from his uniform. Well, and one of the Demon defenders looked like he tried to pick it up and take it, and Mark pushed him. Looks like he drew the flag on that one.
Another flag is down. Been a lot of laundry here early on in this first quarter.
Mark, being a senior, got to control your emotions. Cannot let your emotions get the best of you. It's going to hurt them now, setting them back with a penalty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 33, offense. 15-yard closing. Second down.
So the positive 5-yard gain results in a negative 15-yard play. So not smart by Emmanuel Mark.
And that's frustrating when you're a player, and you'll always tell your players, if you're a coach, they're not going to see what the other guy does. They're going to see what the retaliation was. And Mark very well might have been pushed or has something done with his equipment by someone on the defense, but he retaliates and pushes, and that's always what the referee is going to catch.
So that was a dead ball foul, so the down does count. So it'll bring up second down and long. They need to get all the way out to the 38. And Mark gets it up the middle, breaks through one hole, and finally ridden down out past the 20 to the 22. A gain of maybe 4, maybe 5 on the play as the clock approaches 1 minute remaining here in this first quarter, and another flag is down on the play. Wow, hardly a play goes by without something being called.
Well, these referees are really on top of everything. They're watching what the players are doing, and if guys are out of line, they're going to call them for it.
Well, the referee's still trying to figure out what exactly is going on. And now they're going to march the other way, so it looks like it's going to be 15 yards against Northwestern State.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 53. The result of the closing, first down.
T.J. McMillan is the culprit. Unsportsmanlike conduct, so essentially offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but that will carry with it an automatic first down for Delaware State.
And you talk about shooting yourself in the foot. They just get a penalty against the other team. Now they commit one, and it basically balances each other out.
Northwestern State, a team that only has 7 seniors on it combined, so a very young team, to say the least. Winton, nice fake, pitches it back to Mark. He avoids one tackle, can't avoid the other, spins up past the 40 to the 42. What it looked like initially would be a tackle for a loss turns into a 4-yard gain. And
a very talented running back in Emmanuel Mark. The way he's able to cut and spin and avoid that loss and pick up a couple yards. You like that if you're also offensive coordinator Eric Day, to see your back able to pick up yards when it looked like it was going to be a loss.
Well, we'll see if Delaware State will be able to get one more play off, as there's only 10 seconds and the clock is running to go here in this first quarter. Winton with 2 wideouts and Mark, the lone back, in the backfield. The handoff does go to Mark straight up the middle, and another hard run straight up the gut, up past the 45 to the 46, and that will be the end of this first quarter. It was a penalty-filled first quarter, but Northwestern State got off to the start that they wanted. They lead as we start the second quarter by 10 here in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Come on back.
Football is a way of life. Live it with CSTV.
We are back to the start of the second quarter here in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Northwestern State on top of Delaware State. 10-0 is your score. Delaware State will have 3rd down and 2 as we begin the second quarter. CSTV Football Nation, Chris Ricks. I'm Jonathan Coachman. 3rd down and 2 at their own 46 for the Hornets. 2 wide receivers to the near side as the sun starts to go down here in Louisiana Bayou country. Winton heads off the back through. That's Mark. He's up past midfield. Good for a first down inside of Northwestern State territory. and the chains will move, and another first down for the Hornets.
Another nice run by Emmanuel Mark. Every time you give this guy the football, he's going to pick up at least 3, 4, maybe 5 yards. He's not the biggest back, only 5'10", 200 pounds, but the way he hits the hole, he appears a lot bigger than he is.
And the Hornets continue to do their hurry-up offense, calling the play at the line of scrimmage. So now 4 wide receivers for Winton. This time fakes to Mark. The quick feed of Winton, he gets to the outside. He's going to pass the 45, inside the 40. And a 10-yard run, we'll see where they mark it, may be just enough for another first down.
Nice decision by Winton, keeping the ball, trying to pick up that first down. See here, sells the fake, is able to get that defensive end to bite, and then makes a nice move there on the outside linebacker, Blake DeClamber. Is able to get outside very close to the first down. I think he picked it up.
Coach Lavin said that Winton was a great athlete, has quick feet, manages the game very, very well, and that's exactly what we've seen here in the first quarter. And the start of the second, unfortunately for Delaware State, they have been unable to get any points on the board thus far. Now first down and 10, it was just enough for a first down at the 38-yard line of Northwestern State. Winton in that familiar shotgun position. He keeps the ball again. He's got room again, and he lowers his right shoulder, bowls inside the 35, and finally down at the 33, 5 yards on first down.
Well, Winton there, you didn't know if he was going to make a move inside or outside, puts a little juke, and then chooses to just lower his shoulder into the strong safety, Travis Moore. Got to be careful there. You're the leader of this offense. You want to make sure you're going to last the rest of this game. Thought he was maybe going to slide and make a move, but he chooses to lower his shoulder, JC.
Apparently sliding isn't his vocabulary.
That's all right. It wasn't in mine either.
Just run people over. That's what we do. Second down and 5. First down marker at the 28. The furthest penetration for Delaware State thus far this evening. Handoff straight up the middle. Not much room there. Adam Shrewsbury on the carry. Kind of a keep the defense honest type of carry.
Well, it was a nice job by C.L. Grogan, the corner. If you see him up top there, he comes in the corner blitz, anticipates it, and is able to make the stop, be a part of that gang tackle there. It's a big risk because if that's a pass play, that receiver out there is left wide open, uncovered. So you see Grogan there coming on that corner or Charlie blitz, as we called it, Florida State. Well anticipated, is able to help out on the gang tackle.
Grogan, a great athlete, also big on special teams for the Demons as well. So now third down and 5 for Winton. Going for the wide receiver screen, and it was blown up from the beginning. Intended out there for Shahir McBride, the big play wide receiver for Delaware State. But defense nicely is going to bring up a fourth down and 5, and we'll see what Delaware State decides to do.
And boy, this Demon defense is fired up. They're shooting the gaps, bringing a lot of house blitzes there. They do not want to give Vashawn Winton time to throw the football. They're coming up the middle, they're coming off the edges, and we see that forces Winton to throw the ball high here, isn't able to step into the pass to make the completion.
Jamel Jackson in on the defense there for Northwestern State that blew up that wide receiver screen. So now fourth down and 5. And the Hornets will punt. Josh Bright to kick. Snap is good. Kick is spiraling. It'll go well into the end zone. So a touchback for Delaware State. And Northwestern State, they have bent, but they have not broken. The Demons continue to lead by 10. They have the ball when we come back. We're back. Northwestern State leads it by 10 over Delaware State here in Natchitoches, Louisiana. 12:52 remaining here in the second quarter. And now what does Northwestern State need to do to add Chris Richardson to this second quarter lead?
I think they need to keep their momentum. They've got the tempo. We've talked about they're playing in their home opener. They've got the crowd behind them that's helping them. They need to keep that momentum going and not get rid of it by forcing a turnover or turning the ball over very close to their own territory. Keep a drive, sustain a drive, and hopefully pick up some more points.
Ricky Joe Meeks, who in the first couple of weeks was very turnover prone, has been just the opposite of that here in this first quarter in 4 minutes or so. Earl will take it up past the 25 to the 26, and that was the thing that Meeks was going to play as long as he didn't turn the ball over, and he's been very efficient here early on.
And as a quarterback, you know that. You know if you're on a short leash and you have a lot of turnovers, you're not going to be on the field very long. So Meeks has been smart with the ball. He's been conservative, hasn't taken many chances, and has given his playmakers the ball. And we've seen a lot of help in that backfield with Lawrence, Skidmore, now Earl, really making Meeks' job pretty easy at the moment.
Northwestern State quickly out of the huddle again. It'll bring second down and 4. Handoff to Earl, who just bowls over a defender, gets up to the 29. He'll be about 2 yards short of the first down. And then on the tackle, Jamel Trott, number 47 for Delaware State.
Earl's a pretty big boy, just a freshman. Not the tallest guy, but you see he's got a lot of power, a lot of weight behind him. He's able to pick up a few extra yards even after contact is made from the Hornet defense.
They've got some big running backs. Earl, Austin, Lawrence, they all run pretty hard. They're all 200 pounds plus for Northwestern State. So 3rd down and 2. Meeks, as he just gets hit from behind, and the ball falls incomplete. And they were bringing everybody and then some, and it worked. Ball falls incomplete. 4th down and 2. Punting opportunity for Northwestern State.
Delaware State does a nice job bringing the house blitz here. You see him shooting the gaps, but Meeks, very impressed with him getting rid of the ball, not eating it and forcing, maybe fumbling it where Delaware State can pick up and score. He knows he has the pressure, throws it in the vicinity of a defender, and now they're able to punt. And punt, JC, is sometimes a good play.
Brandon Hudson back to receive the punt, standing at his own 35. 11-11 remains here in the second quarter. A high wobbly kick comes down to Hudson at the 33. He cuts to the left. He's going to be ridden down. Oh, wait a second. He breaks one tackle, can't break the second. Gets up to the 40, and that's where Delaware State will take over. They need to get something going offensively. So far, it's been a donut. Deshaun Witten back on the field right after this.
DirecTV.
10-0 is your score right now. 10:59 remaining here in the second quarter. Northwestern State on top. And when you talk about their first couple of games, sure, there was a 34-point differential in score, but the defense for Northwestern State has been very, very good. Take a look at the graphic right here. And the 7 opponents' touchdowns have been by 50 yards or less, Chris. So you can tell that turnovers and special teams have been the weak point, not exactly the defense for Northwestern State.
And we talked about earlier, that is something that has hurt them. Field position. When they've had good field position, they've been successful. But when their special teams have broke down, when their defense have broke down, the opponents have taken advantage of it very well.
Deshaun Witten, 4 wide receivers, and Emmanuel Mark in the backfield. Takes it over the middle. He's got a man wide open. That's McBride. Nobody was guarding him. I don't know how they lost him. Up past midfield and down to the 45, and good for 15 yards on first down.
Well, the Hornet offense does a good job taking advantage. What happens here is they blitz up in the middle. The linebackers leave, and Witten does a nice job reading it. He sees McBride coming over the middle. There was a big void there because they brought the blitz. If you see in the middle here, both linebackers shoot and leave a big void right there over the ball, and McBride knows he's got a slant route. Witten recognizes it and just gives his playmaker the ball.
McBride, 1 week ago, 4 touchdowns on a huge day for Delaware State. Now inside of Northwestern State territory yet again. They've been in here several times already here in the first half, but not able to get on the scoreboard. Shrewsbury will get the call. Nowhere for him to go. He stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. And number 59, Charlie Brooks, was the first man there for the Demons. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. And right now, Northwestern State from the 30 to the 30, they've been very, very good. But they get down, around the 35-30, they just can't get any farther than that.
Well, you see Charlie Brooks there. I mean, this guy is an athlete, and we take a look at the Northwestern State defense. They're starting to blitz a lot right now. They want to put pressure on Witten. They don't want to give him time to get the ball off. And you see Brooks there. He was a quarterback in high school, JC, so probably the best athlete on this Demon defense.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Hornets. Witten in the shotgun again. And whistles blow. And there was movement up front. I believe there was movement on the offensive line, so that'll be 5 yards. So they will march off the 5-yard penalty on Delaware State.
And here we see again the movement right up here. We see him just flash right there, and that causes Derek Upchurch, the right tackle, to move there. So that's where, if you're a defense, you try to fool the offensive line to get them to jump. There, JC, we saw that it worked.
A lot of penalties so far for Delaware State. There you see 6 for 58 yards. Not something you want to have happen if you want to score a lot of points. You're going to need it here tonight. So again, McBride one-on-one coverage. He breaks one tackle, but just caught the shoestrings. Nice tackle out there by number 11, C.L. Grogan. We've called his name a couple of times. But McBride, you'd love to have that anytime, one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Oh, yeah, and if you're Grogan, you're lucky that you make that play. McBride is so talented out at the wideout position. I thought he was going to either give a move inside and go outside, JC, or give a move outside and go inside. His move wasn't effective there, and Grogan able to recover and save it because behind him there was no one there. McBride could have been gone.
McBride is the stellar wide receiver. There you see the numbers for McBride, and he has had a great career for Division I AA Delaware State. So now 3rd down and long. They need to get to the 35 of the Demons. Winton on a low snap, and everything was blown up from the beginning. A bad snap, bad throw, incomplete, 4th down, punt.
And Mike Collins, the defensive coordinator for Northwestern State, is doing a good job as far as sending his defense on blitzes. We see the pressure that's being put on Winton. Again, they do not want to give him time. And if I'm the defense, I keep blitzing because you can see he's very rattled here. He's not able to stay in the pocket and make those passes. When he is, he's been able to get his playmakers the ball. So Mike Collins doing a nice job with his defense, mixing it up, throwing a lot of blitzes in there, and keeping Winton on his toes.
Jason O'Brien was the man who got to Winton first and disrupted everything from the start of that play. So now punting is Josh Bright yet again for Delaware State. Jackson standing back at his 10 for the Demons. Snap is good. The punt is up. It's wobbly. Jackson's not even going to take a shot at it. It bounces. A Hornets roll. We'll see where they mark it out at the 12. So Northwestern State, their defense back on the field. How much do they have left? They've been on the field a lot. Northwestern State leads it by 10. We are back. Northwestern State leads it by 10 here in the second quarter, 9 minutes left. And folks, while we have a second, I can tell you to gaze deeply into the coming weekend of college football with the fortune tellers of CSTV's Crystal Ball, presented by Xbox Live. Join the Crystal Ball crew as they preview the upcoming action with highlights, analysis, news, features, and special guests. It's Crystal Ball, presented by Xbox Live, Wednesday night, 7 Eastern, only on CSTV.
Did you say fortune tellers, JC?
Well, I don't write it. I just read it.
You remember that machine?
And I barely read it.
You remember that machine in the mall as a kid? You see, put a quarter and say,
Yeah.
"Give me a quarter, I'll tell you your fortune."
That was the movie Big, is what that was. Well, back to action. Northwestern State caught in the backfield is Lawrence. All the way back at the 9. That'll be a loss of 3. So after the first couple of series, Chris, Northwestern State's defense has been very, very stout.
Well, they have, and they've been able to shut down the offense. We saw the momentum early in the beginning. Now they're really starting to catch up, shut down the running backs, and Lawrence, Skidmore, and Earl. They're realizing that the offense not doing much right now. They may have to come out with a big turnover.
The senior from Wilmington, Delaware, Penwan Miller, first man there. Meeks again, he hands back to Skidmore, who's the long down back, and he cuts it back upfield to the 14, maybe to the 15, but that's going to bring up a long 3rd down play, and this is kind of the place that Northwestern State has been in the last quarter or so. 3rd down and long. Northwestern State needs to turn the tables and get the field position back for their offense.
And if you're Broderick Fobbs and Johnny Nagel, the offensive coordinators for Northwestern State, you've got to have some confidence in your quarterback, Meeks. Now, yes, he's turned the ball over a lot the past couple weeks, but you've got so many talented receivers out there, and they're starting to key on that run game. Got to put the ball in the air.
Meeks in the shotgun. He takes it back. And all kinds of time. He goes to Skidmore. And that thing was blown up from the beginning as well, looking for the screen, but wasting way too much time. Skidmore did catch it, but it's going to be a loss of 1. And just like that, 3 and out. And the Demons will have to punt.
And Skidmore could have had some room to run, but number 66, the center, Marcus Washington, will see him right here. He's got to get out and make that block. He's got that block right there, isn't able to get it. And it results in a loss for Skidmore. A lot of room out there for him to run if he can get by that one defender.
You know, watching this Northwestern State team, their football IQ is very, very high. They read things very well. They read the screens very well. And it's been very difficult for Northwestern State after the first couple of series to get anything on them. Well, Northwestern State now will punt, but Delaware State has nobody back to receive. Looks like they're going to go for this one, and they rush in and nearly get it blocked. And like I said, nobody is out there, so the ball will fall to 45 harmlessly. It takes a great Northwestern State roll and will be touched down at the 30. So taking the chance for the block, they nearly got it. but it backfired. Now Northwestern State will take over at their own 30. A fantastic punt, 57-yard punt for Northwestern State. You know, Vashawn Witten, obviously the first couple of weeks, he's been Offensive Player of the Week. Talk, Chris, about the pressure that the Demons have been able to get on Witten here this first quarter and a half.
Well, Northwestern State knows they have so much talent on the defensive side of the ball, and they see how talented of a quarterback Witten is, so they've been able to bring a lot of blitzes. We've talked about it in the past couple of drives. Look at all these guys coming up the middle. They do not want to give Vashawn Witten time to go through his reads, go through his progressions, and find his playmakers, so they're setting a lot of twists, a lot of stunts up front, and able to put pressure on the redshirt sophomore quarterback.
And now Witten is pointing, they may be missing one guy on that front, but they're going to run the play regardless. Hand off to Mark. And Mark looking for a hole, but nowhere for him to go. That'll be a loss of 1 on the play. You know, Vashawn Witten's kind of a funny story. Last year he was a freshman, Chris, and the starting quarterback for Delaware State left and went home to work on the farm. Out of nowhere, quit. Ryan Botts was his name. And so Witten got thrown into the starting fire as a freshman. Really didn't think he was going to play all that much. So this has been the year. Coach Lavin told us that he really has started to take over, and the offense has belonged to him. And it was a lot of good experience that he got after Botch left last season. Witten was able to step in. He wasn't expected really to be the starter this year because there was a senior quarterback, but he was able to get his feet wet last year, and you can see how much more comfortable he is now. Clock continues to roll, approaching 5 minutes, and what a shock. Whistles blow, flags fly. It's amazing to me how with the hurry-up offense, that's 7 penalties for 63 yards right now so far for Northwestern State. It's amazing how with the hurry-up offense you can have a delay of game call. And you don't know if that is on Vashawn Witten because it does fall on the quarterback mainly if there's a delay of game or they're not getting the play in, or if there's still those difficulties with the play clock. If they're having those technical difficulties, it could be throwing Witten off, but definitely frustrating as an offense to have another delay of game penalty. So they back it up 5, back to the 24. It'll bring up a second down for Witten. He's got a man over the middle. That's McBride, tips it to himself, does catch it on the fly. And all the way up past the 40, should be good for a first down. And McBride, you hit him in stride, and wow, he can flat out go. Good for 16 yards and a first down. And I'll tell you what, Delaware State so far tonight has been able to move it, like I said, inside the 30s. And we saw that Northwestern State blitz again from the middle. They void everyone from the middle right there, and it gives McBride a wide open place right over the ball. He runs that slant, that hot route again because of the blitz, and Witten able to put it in there very nicely for him for a big game. So the clock continues to run, 4:40 and counting, first down and 10 for Delaware State and Vashawn Witten. From the shotgun, fakes it to Mark. They avoid one tackle. We'll see if they call that an incomplete pass or if it's a fumble. I think his arm was coming forward. In on the tackle, Charlie Brooks was the man who got in on Witten first. He avoided one, couldn't avoid Brooks. And Chris, I tell you what, Brooks has been the man here in this first half. And because of the pressure, Witten isn't able to really carry out that fake. You like to sell that fake, kind of ride the ball in there with your running back. Because of all that pressure coming out on the outside, he's having to rush that fake and try to get outside of the pocket. This Demon defense is not falling for it. They've got one guy right on Witten. No matter what happens with that fake, he's just pursuing and coming beelining right at that young quarterback and isn't able to really sell that fake. Delaware State, you can see this thus far this season, 49 points a game. Tonight, 0 so far in the first half. And now around the near side and getting cut down at the 45 on second down. That's Mark. He gets about 5 yards on the carry. And why do you think Delaware State has been so proficient in their first couple of weeks, Chris? But tonight they've done absolutely nothing to get in the end zone or even kick a field goal. It's because of the pressure that's been applied to Vashawn Witten. The first couple weeks he had a lot of time to sit in the pocket, again, go through his progressions, go through his reads, but this Demon defense is just not letting him do that. Mike Collins, the defensive coordinator, again, has done a very good job mixing things up and bringing a lot of pressure on Witten. So it's getting him outside of his comfort zone. I know as a quarterback, you don't like to be outside of that comfort zone when you have to go through those reads. There you see number 27, Jordan Patton, is down for Northwestern State, the 5'6" sophomore from Jasper, Texas. Let's take a look one more time to see if we can see exactly what happened to Patton. Patton here on the play is going to make the tackle on Mark and may have got a finger in the eye. Now he got hit hard in the back of the head, so maybe had his bell rung just a little bit. But so far, this Northwestern State defense has been as good as advertised. When we talked to Coach Stokes the other day, I said, well, what about the 40-some points a game you're giving up? He said, wait a second, that wasn't on our defense. That was on our special teams, and we're turning the ball over too much. And he's exactly right. This defense has been on point so far here tonight.
You know, we see Jordan Patton down there on the field, and people see football always got a helmet on, his head just hit the ground. But as we saw recently when Trent Green got hit and his head hit the ground, he has a helmet on, but the impact is just so hard that it doesn't matter if you have a helmet on, your head still gets that trauma. And I guarantee you, Jordan Patton, the general, as they call him, the leader of this defense, feels it despite having a very durable helmet on.
And Patton is still down, and we mentioned how young this Northwestern State team really is. Only 7 seniors on the squad, and they really are a team that you talk about looking forward to the future. They are very, very young, 7 seniors, 27 freshmen.
Yeah, not as much experience as you'd like, and we see Jordan Patton getting up here, walking off the field. You know, Patton is a track athlete at Northwestern State. He's a walk-on the football team, so hasn't played a lot of football, JC. Still getting used to all that contact. So when there's a hard hit like that, a guy who hasn't played a lot of football is known for really his track ability. It's tough to see that. Still getting used to the hard impacts of the game.
Yeah, certainly your body is not used to the hits and getting that head rattled a little bit, so to speak, as Jordan Patton gets helped off the field. And we'll try to get an update on his condition a little bit later on.
Looks like he's got a leg injury as well in conjunction with the hit he took to his head.
So 4 minutes and 10 seconds remain here in the second quarter. We're on the campus of Northwestern State, Natchitoches, Louisiana. Chris Ricks, I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is CSTV Football Nation. So pleased you could join us here tonight. So 3rd down and 5 for Vashawn Winton and the offense from Delaware State. A fade route down the right-hand side, nearly perfect, but a little bit overthrown, intended for McBride. Nice coverage down there by C.L. Grogan, and that'll bring up another 4th down and a punting situation for Delaware State.
It was a nice ball by Winton, put it out there. They tried to take advantage of the one-on-one coverage. Gave his receiver a chance, put a lot of air on it. McBride just not able to get there, right outside of his fingertips. Big miss opportunity for this Hornet offense.
This will be the 5th punt for Josh Bright here in this first half. And I guarantee you that Josh Bright didn't want to get 5 chances throughout the entire game, let alone here in this first half. So, but so far the Northwestern State defense has been stellar, no doubt about it. Jackson standing back at his own 17 to receive the punt. Bright gets a snap and a low spiraling kick. And this one's going to land out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it at. But a good angled kick for Bright should pin Northwestern State back deep in their territory. And they do inside the 10. Is going to be marked at the 9. Well, folks, 2 of the top collegiate women's volleyball players emerged as the best in the country after battling it out in a field of 16 for a spot on Beach Volleyball's AVB Tour. Tune in for the final installment of Go Pro or just go home tomorrow night at 8 Eastern to see if these collegiate champions have what it takes to go up against the pros. It's Go Pro or go home, only on CSTV. Well, you're a big volleyball guy, aren't you? You live on the left coast, Huntington Beach.
I think I tried volleyball one time, JC. It's not my sport. I'm not gifted on the volleyball court or on the beach, for that matter.
Meeks hands off to Lawrence, who's the second back through. He gets cut down at the 15. Finally down up past the 16, and a good 7-yard carry for first down as we approach 3.5 minutes and a very rapidly moving first half. Well, there you see the average starting position for Delaware State, their own 22. Northwestern State, not bad, their own 33, but that was helped with the first couple of possessions.
Field position really hasn't been a factor yet tonight for either team.
2nd down and 3 from the 17. Meeks hands it off to Lawrence again, trying to use his speed to get the outside, cannot do it. Nice pursuit out there, led by Jeremy Biondudu. Been waiting all day to say that one. Probably mixed it up. No gain on the play to bring up a 3rd down.
See Lawrence here trying to get outside the pursuit of this Hornet defense now really stepping up. And look here, Keywan Miller comes in late. Surprised there wasn't a flag there. Lawrence already down on the ground and Miller coming in. Going to see a flag on that if he tries that again, more likely than not.
Biondudu is the first one in on the play. It's like saying it. So 3rd down and 2. Delaware State desperately needs a stop to get the ball back before halftime. Meeks pitches back, and this time nowhere to go. Blown in the backfield. Lawrence again. He got his number called all three times. All three times unable to get that much space, and a timeout is called by Delaware State, and they're going to get the ball back with about 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
And there's nothing you can really do here as a running back. That really falls on the left guard, Tim Henderson. We'll take a look at it here on the sweep. We can freeze it right there. He misses his block right here, and you see the defender in the field. He's got to make that block. So as a running back, you're really left out to dry there, JC.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, Northwestern State and Delaware State both are having hard times against the opposing defenses.
Tim Henderson, a young lineman, just a sophomore, but you've got to make that block for your running back. Otherwise, he's just got nowhere to go with a guy in his face. There we see a shot at Henderson. He knows he's better than that.
So Delaware State now has 2 timeouts left here in the first half. They just used their first. And this will be the 4th punt by Marshall Burton. So both punters have been very, very busy here in this first half. Neither offense has been able to get off the snide. But Northwestern State, obviously, pleased with their first half performance after the last couple of weeks of a lot of turnovers and poor special teams play. So now back to action. 2:08 remaining here in the second quarter. Hudson is standing back on his own 45 to receive the punt. Delaware State should get very good field position after this punt. Snap is good from his own goal line. Burton puts his foot into it. A wobbly kick will land at the 49, and Hudson is going to let it go, but now he's going to try to pick it up. Maybe not the smartest of moves, but he's taken down immediately back at his 37. So again, a good punt by Burton. And so Delaware State will take over with 1:57 remaining here in this second quarter.
Risky play there by Hudson. And you see him getting talked to by the special teams coach saying, hey, either pick it up or let it go. Don't pick it up that late. If he gets hit as soon as he catches that ball or picks it up, that could be a big turnover there. So Hudson, you can count on he's going to learn from that and let that ball go next time or pick it up earlier.
And Chris Jordan Patton, the young man from Northwestern State who was down just a few moments ago, was just taken into the locker room on a golf cart to be examined. So we'll see if we'll see him for the rest of the night. But here we go. Delaware State taking over at their own 37. Winton takes a snap. He's got a man out there. That's McBride up past the 40 to the 43 and finally knocked out. And a good first down gain of about 7 for the Hornets.
Nice quick read by Winton. Sees that he has McBride out in the flat and just takes it. On those out routes, you don't want to throw those routes late. You've got to have it outside where it's your receiver or nobody. If you throw that thing later behind, that's a pick 6 going the other way.
Last week, Vashawn Winton was 12 for 13 on the entire game. This week, 7 for 13. No scores yet. But the last couple of possessions, they've been able to find McBride, find a way to get him open. So look for number 1 to have a bigger second half here tonight. Second down and 3. From their own 43 for Delaware State. And again, the wide receiver screen. That's McBride. He cuts upfield. That's the 50 inside the 45. So now starting to design plays for their star wide receiver.
Yes, and they're really spreading the ball out now, trying to take Northwestern State away from the blitzing, trying to get guys out in space, and they still bring a blitz off the perimeter with the strong safety Travis Moore. He was in the slot. He kind of showed blitz, and then came in, forces Winton to get rid of the ball quick. So they're going to have to go to a lot more of that quick game. Hitches, slants, and if they're in the slots, just giving the ball on those bubble screens to their receivers because Winton is not having time to throw the ball with the pressure of this defense.
McBride was able to get out of bounds, so the clock will start on the snap. Winton looks right over the middle again. He's got McBride, avoids the tackle, stays on his feet, and then goes down by his own volition, but may have got just enough inside the 35. And right now, for some reason, Northwestern State is having a very difficult time finding number 1.
Here they come again, blitzing on the inside, just gives them a big void for McBride to come over the middle. They're going to hit that every time. If they keep bringing that blitz up the middle, McBride's going to do a side adjust, and Winton's going to hit him.
Winton hands off to Mark, tries the left side. A swarm of Northwestern State defenders take down Mark after a gain of 4, and a timeout by Delaware State with 1:05 remaining before halftime. So So there you see the coaching staff from Delaware State talking to the offensive line. You talk about Coach Al Lavin. And here's a guy who obviously has been successful wherever he's been. And you look at the laundry list of places where Al Lavin has coached at.
Well, he's been at a lot of colleges, NFL teams as well. So Lavin has a lot of experience. He knows how to run a program no matter how big or small the program is. When you've coached on 5 NFL staffs, that gives you a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom. And we saw it with Pete Carroll. What he did at New England, maybe not the most impressive, but the way he was able to bring it down to USC, it makes it a lot easier to run a college program, JC, after you've been around the NFL for many, many years.
And Chris, this year I think more than ever, when you saw a big New Hampshire team beat Northwestern a week ago, and now Division I AA programs are starting to get, in my opinion, more respect than what they've gotten in the past, maybe because they're playing more games against Division I opponents.
Yes, and they realize that, this may be a big school we're playing, but those coaches are telling them in the locker room, hey, these guys put on their pads just like we do. They have 11 guys in the field. Go out there and take care of business, and they really throw the rankings and the name of the school out the window.
Here we go, back to action, 2nd down and 6, over the middle again. This time reading it very nicely and blowing that play up. Russ Washington, number 3. They went to the well one too many times trying to find McBride over the middle.
Well, here's a replay and freeze it right there, guys. We see them blitzing up the middle, and right here on your right-hand side, you'll see Russ Washington come in the picture and time it out. Let's start it up again. Russ Washington, the quarterback of this defense, is able to break that pass up. So this Demon defense is really learning that when they blitz the middle, McBride's going to come over the middle, and Washington now there to break up that pass, where in the past he was getting there a little late, enabling McBride to make big plays.
Now 3rd down and 6 for Witt. He's got time. He's got a man out there. McBride stumbled at about the 7, and the ball was overthrown, but double coverage was the appetite of the day for McBride. And again, they stall on 3rd down when they get down to the 30, and we'll see what Al Lavin decides to do on 4th down.
And Winton trying to go into his playmaker again, McBride on the corner route, but you see the double coverage, a safety coming over here to help out on the corner route. They don't want to give him that one-on-one coverage, so I think this might have been a throwaway from Winton. He saw the safety come over, saw it was 2-on-1, threw it out there where only his receiver could get it. He really couldn't even get it there, so a smart decision by Winton throwing that ball away.
Well, they're going to attempt a very long field goal for Delaware State. Josh Bright will do the honors. This will be a 48-yard field goal try. Snap is good. Kick is up. Line drive kick. And just enough, it gets through. So Josh Bright, normally the punter, comes in and does the place-kicking duties and gets the 48-yard field goal to go through. So something positive finally happens for Delaware State.
And look for special teams to be a big part, especially in the second half. But with the kicking game, receiving, punts, kickoffs, special teams going to be very huge, as we see here at the end of the first half.
You can see this one right here, barely clearing the crossbar. And Josh Bright had just enough juice, just enough Wheaties. And that drive, 7 plays, 38 yards, capped by the 48-yard field goal for Delaware State. Only took up 1 minute and 5 seconds. And so at least something, positive goes right for this offense, and they can take that into the locker room and come out in the second half and maybe a more positive attitude.
You're absolutely right, JC. If I'm Al Lavin, I'm very happy that you at least get 3. You don't go into the locker room down 10-0. You go down only 7. So when you come out in the second half, all you need is a touchdown, and you're not only back in the game, you're tied. So Al Lavin got to be pleased. Didn't get a touchdown, but at least to come away with a long field goal, pick up 3 points, is going to give your team and your coaching staff confidence going into the locker room.
Chris Miller, Greg Skidmore back to receive the kick from Josh Bright. Remember, the clock will start as soon as the referee blows the whistle. The new rules this year in college football, instead of on contact.
Yep.
A new rule that I despise. But that's not for me. And a low kick, and it's going to be taken at the 39. And I don't know how smart that was. Northwestern State is going to have very, very good field position taken by the up man, Matt Dampier. So now Meeks will have 46 seconds before halftime to maneuver this offense, hopefully, into field goal position.
And I'll be very surprised if you see Broderick Fobbs and Johnny Nagel, the offensive coordinators, really sit on it.
So a procedure call on the kicking team will be added on to the end of the kick, so they'll move the ball up to the 46. So Ricky Joe Meeks and 3 wide receivers. And remember, the clock will start right now on chains of possession. Clock starts 45 seconds and counting here in this first half.
See if they try to get in field goal range.
Meeks, plenty of time, great protection. He's got a man over the middle. Oh, and he just lays it out. Intended out there for number 17, Chris Miller. But some alligator arms got the best of him. It'll bring up a 2nd down and long.
And that's on Meeks. You've got to hit the receiver in the first window. You see him waiting. He's got Chris Miller drag. Got hit him right there. He waits, and that enables Tyrone Kelly, a strong safety, to come in there. When you let that receiver drag across the field, you either have a squat corner sitting over there, or as we saw here, a safety. You've got to hit your receiver in that first or second window. Meeks waited to the 3rd window on that, which is too late. 2nd
down and 10 for Meeks. Again, back to pass. Again, he's got all kinds of time. He's got a man out there open. It's completed inside the 20 and down to the 18, Adam Varnado, who's been the big play wide receiver tonight. This one will count. No flags are down. 1st down and 10 inside the 20. And timeout for Northwestern State. So after that very questionable kickoff, Northwestern State is definitely now in field goal territory, and now they have a chance to go for a touchdown.
Very nice job by Meeks, stepping up, maneuvering in the pocket. He sees Varnado going down the sideline there, puts a ball out there where only he can get it. If he puts too much air on that, it enables Kelly, the safety, to come over. He puts it on a line, again, where only his receiver can get you. Nice play by Varnado, but again, it all started with Meeks stepping up the pocket, finding his receivers, and not settling going into the halftime with just a 7-point lead. He wants to come out with at least a field goal before they go into the locker room.
Varnado was the man that earlier in the first half had that long play inside the 20 that was called back for a holding call, so that one will stand. All the way down, it'll be marked at the 17-yard line, so now 26 seconds remain. And Northwestern State in a prime time position to get into the end zone, or at least get a field goal opportunity here right before halftime.
What I'm interested to see is if they go for a pass and try to get a touchdown, or if they're just going to do a couple safe, conservative run plays and settle for the field goal.
The Demons still have 2 timeouts left. It's 1st down and 10, 3 wide receivers to the near side. Meeks in the shotgun with Skidmore. Meeks back to pass, look to the right side. He's got a man out there, but throws behind his intended receiver. And maybe if he would have led his receiver, he might have been able to get into the end zone. But Meeks with a bad pass.
Yes, that's just a misfire by Meeks. Has the receiver sitting out there on the sideline, throws a little behind him, and when your receiver running up the sideline with all that momentum, it's hard to stop and really come back to that football. If he'd let him a little more, might have caught it, sidestepped, and walked into the end zone.
Clayton Broyles was the man that the ball was intended for, so 2nd down and 10 for Meeks. 19 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Meeks back to pass. Nice block by Skidmore, forcing it in again to Varnado, and that one nearly intercepted, and a very bad decision that time by Meeks to try and force it in to number 84.
Yeah, surprised to see Meeks there. The safety's right there, and we'll freeze it here in a second. Freeze it right there, guys. See the safety sitting right there, and he stares down the route. Let's start it back up again, and he throws it right there, expecting Varnado to come out of the break. But with a safety there, you've got to go the other way, 2-on-1 coverage. His eyes are staring it down. You see him looking at the safety the whole time. Surprised to see that pass. Either throw it away. You know, you've got 3 points here. You don't want to give up those 3 points. So got to be smarter on that if you're Ricky Joe Meeks.
Certainly not successful tonight. Either team on 3rd down. 3rd down and 10 for Meeks. He looks over the middle. He's got a man open in the end zone. Diving catch. Oh, in and out of the hands. Intended for number 9, Derek Doyle. Just a little bit too far, but nearly 6 points for the Demons, and now they'll have to settle for a field goal try.
And yes, if you're Derek Doyle, you should make that catch, but you'd like to pin your receiver a little more. You'd like to control him. You see here that Meeks leads him a little too much, and it's a very tough catch for Doyle to come up with outstretched arms. Yes, you'd like to make it, but a tough catch for Doyle. If you're Meeks, you'd like to pin him, control the pass a little bit more, make it easier on your receiver.
35-yard field goal attempt for Robert Weeks. He is 1 for 1 here tonight. Earlier tonight, 31-yard field goal. That one is straight down the middle, plenty of distance. So with 9 seconds remaining here in this 2nd quarter, the Demons and Robert Weeks are able to add 3 more to the scoreboard and regain their 10-point advantage before halftime. Robert Weeks 2 for 2 now on the night. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we will go to New York City to the field house. Game Tracker Live, and what has been a very active day in college football.
Oh, yeah.
To say the least. Probably one of the best days of college football we've had in some time, all across the nation, all the different conferences. So now just 9 seconds remaining here before halftime. Brandon Hudson and Tunsil back to receive the kick from Lennox Norville. So I tell you what, it's been a busy week for us, hasn't it, Chris? We started Albany State on Thursday. It was hot there.
A lot of traveling, a lot of frequent flyer miles, a lot of hotel miles.
But we love doing it. It's fun, and we love football, that's for sure. And so far here in the first half, Northwestern State has certainly loved what they have seen from their squad, both defensively. Special teams have been much better, and they have shut down that prolific Delaware State offense. So here we go. The clock will start as soon as the ball is kicked by Norville. Another squib kick will be taken by an up man. And the up man will be written down at the 21, and that should do it. And indeed, the first half clock does run out. I believe they are going to keep 0.9 seconds on the clock, so we'll have time. Well, we only have time for one more play because the clock starts now with all these new rules.
Never understood that. Why keep 0.9 on there so they can take a knee? Let the guys
well, they're not going to be able to take a knee.
Room.
You know, the clock starts now as soon as the whistle blows. So now, and now it's halftime.
There you go.
So we're just a little bit ahead of ourselves. Well, don't forget, coming up at halftime, we're going to send it to New York City. Game Tracker Live. But there's your score. It's been all Demons here in the first half. Northwestern State leads Delaware State by 10. We'll be back for the second half, but right now, we're going to send it after the break back to New York City. Enjoy, everybody.
Oh, something's funky.
Passing gas releases a...
Halftime, Northwestern State leads Delaware State 13-3 by 10 alongside Chris Ricks. I am Jonathan Coachman, and we didn't know what to expect from Northwestern State here tonight, but they've done exactly, at least defensively, what we thought they'd do.
They have. Northwestern State has done a good job as far as offensively, defensively, and special teams. Delaware State has to get things going offensively. They've done an okay job in the second quarter containing on the defense side of the ball, but they've got to get it going offensively if they're going to have a chance.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the first half highlights, and it started off. And the big number for Northwestern State, 0 turnovers. That's been a problem for them the first couple of weeks. Well, folks, there you see it, a 10-point bulge at halftime. Second half kickoff when we come back.
Shot and a score!
Watch. CSTV Football Nation, Delaware State and Northwestern State is being brought to you by Nissan. Just about set for the start of the second half. Northwestern State leads by 10. It's now time for the Shift Performance brought to you by Nissan.
And if my shift performance is on Eric Day, the offensive coordinator for this Hornet offense. They've got to go to a lot more quick passing game. You see the pressure that the Demon defense is putting on Bashawn Wynn. He's not having time to throw. He's not having time to step into his passes. You've got to go to a lot more quick passing game, bubble screens, slants, hitches. He just doesn't have the time to step up and make those passes. So got to get him in a rhythm, in a groove, getting the ball out of his hands quickly.
Lee Scott set the kickoff for Northwestern State. Brandon Hudson and Kadafi Tunsil back for Delaware State's second half kickoff. And we are underway. A high end-over-end kick comes down to Tunsil at the 8. He's going to take it and go to the near side. And he's got a lot of room out past the 30 to the 35. Nice block down there by the 50. It's a foot race and taken out at the 40-yard line. And a huge kickoff return for Delaware State and ridden out by number 21, Jameel Jackson. But that's exactly what the doctor from Delaware State just ordered.
Exactly, and that's what Al Lavin, the head coach for Delaware State, ordered coming out of the locker room at halftime, getting the momentum, getting the tempo on your side. Nice job by their special teams, getting a big return, giving them very good field position going into their first drive. That's what this team needed coming out of the break.
A procedure call on Northwestern State on the kickoff and offsides. To be exact, they will tack on the 5 yards to the end of the run. So great field position for Delaware State to start the second half. And there you see Winton's numbers in the first half.
Well, not as efficient as he's been in his first couple games. And again, it comes down to the time. He hasn't been pressured like this in week 1 and week 2. Now, a lot of blitzes coming out, a lot of different looks in the coverages. He's got to get settled in, be a little more efficient in the second half if they're going to have a shot tonight. We're
just getting started alongside Chris Ricks. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is CSTV Football Nation, Delaware State and Northwestern State. 3 wide receivers for the Hornets. Winton has been in the shotgun formation the entire evening. Hands off to the only back through. That's Emmanuel Mark. He gets ridden down inside the 30 to the 28. Tackle there by number 59, Charlie Brooks, a man that we've been calling his number the entire night.
Brooks, one of the talented defensive linemen for this Demon defense. We've talked a lot about Ed Queen and Torrey Collins, but Brooks, not someone to be underestimated. Played quarterback in high school, probably the best athlete on this defense, and he is their biggest pass rusher if you have to pick one out.
Second down and 6 for the Hornets. Shahir McBride now in the backfield. Now he'll go in motion for Winton. Winton lose one tackler. Now he's on the run. He's going to be ridden down back at the 32-yard line, and that one had no chance from the beginning. A loss of 3, and it'll bring up a long 3 third down for Delaware State, and this is exactly what you just talked about.
Yeah, they've got to get the ball out of his hands quick. They're wanting him to make reads and go through his progressions, but the pressure that's coming from Northwestern State is just too much for Winton right now. You've got to get the ball out of his hands quicker, getting to his playmakers. He's just not going to have the time, JC, to go through all his reads here.
Torrey Collins is credited with the sack back at the 31-yard line. So now third down and a very long 9 for the Hornets. This is their initial drive here in this second half. Winton takes it quickly, gets it out. This time McBride, who tries to elude one tackler, cannot do it. That's Travis Moore, number 7. What a great tackle at the 29. So now a field goal opportunity, and not exactly at all what Delaware State would have liked after that great field position.
And now we see Winton getting the ball quickly out of his hands, but I think they've got to go over the middle. The pursuit of these DBs, Patton and Grogan from Northwestern State, is just too quick. If you're going to throw it on the edges, you've got to go vertical. As far as getting the ball in his hands quick, we've seen a lot of the things over the middle, over the front of the ball, enabling big gains or resulting in big gains. As far as the outside, hasn't been working as well.
And now a 5-yard penalty on the Hornets will back it up, an illegal substitution, and they will mark the ball at the 33. So now it'll be a 49-yard attempt instead of a 44-yard attempt for Josh Bryant, who earlier tonight in the first half made a 48-yard field goal. So the snap goes straight back to Bright. He's going to pooch punt it, down to the 10, and a successful pooch punt it is. But Delaware State would have loved to get on the board. But great defense by Northwestern State. Their offense takes over when we come back. We're back, 13-3. We're just getting started here in the third quarter. Northwestern State will have their first possession of the second half. And Ricky Joe Meeks, his numbers in the first half, not great. but enough to have a 10-point advantage.
Yes, and they haven't been the most impressive, but he's been efficient. He's been getting his playmakers the ball, and more importantly, hasn't been turning the ball over. That's what Coach Scott Stoker and his staff has been wanting him to do, protect the football, and he did that well in the first half.
91 yards on 11 attempts, 5 completions. And Northwestern State will open up with 3 wide receivers and 1 back in the backfield. That's Lawrence, who had a lot of work in the first half. First down and 10 at their own 10. Lawrence will get the call. The speedster goes to the outside. He'll get ridden down at the 14, and flags fly, and there may have been a face mask at the end of the play.
Like a clothesline down there.
First down, number 47 defense, 5 yards from the end of the line, first down.
So a break for the Demons. It'll make it a first down and 2 from the 18. And I've really been impressed with how Northwestern State and their coaching staff, Chris, have been able to platoon the different running backs and keep them fresh in the first half.
And they know they have a stable back there with Lawrence and Earl and Skidmore. So you're right, JC. They have done a nice job rotating them, keeping them fresh. You know, a sophomore, a freshman, and a senior out there. So you know they want to get their reps out there. So they've done a good job as far as keeping a consistent rotation.
The play clock was down to 6. So the Demons are forced to take their first time out here in the second half. You know, you talk about the coaching staff from Northwestern State. It's really a everybody stays in the family type of situation. Stoker was a great player back in the 80s.
Here we'll take a shot here as Stoker playing quarterback here for Northwestern State. So like you said, JC, they like to keep things in the family. The guys that know the pride of the program, know the history, they really take ownership as coaches in leading these players. So you see a lot of programs do that now. They like to bring back former players, former All-Americans, and people that did well at the university to lead the program into the future.
And when we asked Coach Stoker the other day on the phone about what it means to coach his alma mater, he said it means everything to him. He said he loved playing here as a player, and he loves leading this team back into national prominence at the Division I AA level. You can see right there, great numbers from 1986 through 89.
And that's something, it's the emotional connection. When you play for a school, when you're done, all of a sudden you want to be around that. You want to stay around that environment. What a great way to do it to coach. You're there every day, and you're able to stay around and actually be a part of history as a coach and someone to lead those players.
So after the timeout, first down and 2 for the Demons. And Ricky Joe Meeks, play action pass. He's got a man running wide open, a nice diving catch, but the ball comes loose at the 29, intended for number 9, Derek Doyle. So that'll bring up a second down and 2, and nearly a great catch by Doyle.
Well, it was a nice ball by Meeks. Having the ball waiting as receiver, you had Derek Doyle on a high dragging route, just a little bit outside. Should have made that catch, though. The ground, obviously a factor in that, but if you're Doyle, you've got to pull that ball in.
Second down and 2 from their own 17 here early on in this third quarter. I formation for the Demons. And Meeks to the first back through. That's big number 38, Dante Austin, and nowhere for him to go. So what appeared to be a very manageable first down and 2 now has turned into a third down and 2 situation.
And I'm surprised to see they give it to Austin. They have the 3 great running backs in Lawrence, Earl, and Skidmore, who've been very efficient tonight. So to give it to Austin, who hasn't had a lot of carries, surprise on that play call.
So Delaware State could surely use a stop here. It's not a must-stop situation in the third quarter, but so far Delaware State has done absolutely nothing offensively. You can look at the numbers, atrocious on third down for both squads here tonight. I formation behind Meeks, and the defensive line jumped off sides. The play does continue, and Lawrence is going to break around the outside, and he's got some speed to the 45, to the 50, inside the 45 before he's pushed out, and a major mistake on the Delaware State defense. They stopped playing. Northwestern State did not, and it's going to be a huge first down run for Northwestern.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, when the defense jumps, that's a free play. That's why the offense doesn't stop. The defense thinks, oh, the play's dead, let's just not continue with the play. But the offense knows, let's continue with it because we can decline the penalty and take advantage if we get a big gain. That's what this Demon offense did.
Myron Lawrence up the near sidelines for 38 yards. And that's got to be a coach's worst nightmare when your team just stops playing, but the play unfortunately is not over. So first down and 10 inside of Hornets territory.
What do they say, JC? Always play to the what?
Whistles.
The whistle.
Inside of 11 minutes. First down and 10 for Northwestern State. Meeks fakes it. He's got a man wide open. His tight end breaks a couple of tackles, gets inside the 30. Big number 86, Gordon Freeman, and a nice pitch and catch. And just like that, the Demons are deep inside of Hornets territory.
And that's something that this Demon offense is able to do. You see Meeks, he's able to carry out his play action. Not as much pressure from that defense. He doesn't have to rush his fake. Sells the defense, puts a nice ball out there for his tight end. Something we haven't been able to see Winton do because of all that pressure. Hasn't been able to carry out those play action fakes and hold that defense.
So another first down. And now Delaware State is going to take a timeout. They're all confused on the defensive side, and we've seen that the last couple of plays, so they'll take a timeout and try to get things squared away. But right now, the Demons have come out in their first possession here in the second half and look very, very proficient.
And Ricky Joe Meeks, you can see his confidence here. They call a timeout. Does Delaware State. He jogs off the side, starts clapping, says, guys, let's hustle over. You can tell his confidence is growing after there's been a lot of talk that, hey, if he doesn't have a good game or if he turns it over, he's not going to be in the game. You see him there jumping up and down, so his confidence really reeling right now for this Demon offense.
You know, the Northwestern State burst onto the scene this past March in March Madness on the hardwood, and who could forget in the first round of the 2006 March Madness tournament? Wow, what a shocking upset over the 3rd seed Iowa. And it was deep into the game. I remember sitting at the field house in New York City thinking, this isn't going to happen. This small school from Natchitoches, Louisiana, are they going to get it done? Well, they certainly got it done in a major way. A final buzzer beater, beating 3-point shot. And Demetrius Bell, who is on the football team here for Northwestern State, well, he plays basketball for him too. And right there you see the first man out of the stands celebrating on the court, and one of the feel-good stories of March Madness this past March. You see big number 79, Demetrius Bell. First down and 10 now after the timeout. Meeks hands to Skidmore up the middle. Jukes and jives a little bit. Let's take a look at it one more time. Take a look at this from the game. There you see Demetrius Bell looking as a shot is let go. This is the game-winning three-pointer last March. And then we fast forward. He tackled his own player.
That's great support. And you say when you have other athletes coming out to the games, you know all the basketball and the baseball players and the other athletes come to the football games, but you don't always see the football players attending other sports. And when you see Bell and other athletes coming out to support their basketball team, it's great school spirit.
Yeah, Bell was not on the playoff roster for Northwestern State, but certainly at the game. Now Meeks back to pass, avoids one rusher, delivers it nicely to Lawrence, gathers it in, gets knocked out at the 20. It's going to be just shy of a first down, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and short, but Meeks looks very fleet-footed here in the second half, and this Northwestern State offense is clicking.
And Lawrence, what a talented back. He's very young, he's just a sophomore, but kind of reminds me, especially in that purple, of LaDainian Tomlinson playing at TCU. Not the biggest guy, but the way he catches the ball and runs with the ball, very fast and very powerful. Also like a Darren Sproles from Kansas State. Not the biggest backs, but sometimes the best packages come in small packages, JC.
That's exactly who he reminds me of. I was trying to think all night, who does Lawrence remind me of? You hit the nail on the head, certainly. 3rd down and 1, I formation handoff to Lawrence. He's looking for some space, doesn't get any, but the second chance push may have got him enough. We'll see where the referees spot the ball. Maybe just shy of a first down, but the way this offensive line is playing, you got to believe that Coach Stokes certainly would go for it on 4th down.
See if he gets the first down here. Comes pretty close. Again, it's taken more than one defender from that Hornet defense to bring down Lawrence tonight. Pretty close to that first down. Interesting to see if they go for it or not. I think they will, JC.
Well, headman Scott Stoker, there you see him, has decided to go for it. This crowd realizes it too. 4th down and about a half a yard for the Demon offense. Meeks, I formation. He'll keep it himself, and he's got enough. He goes over the left side. Great push, great surge. It's going to be marked inside the 19, and then it'll be a 1st down and 10 for the Demons. So Ricky Joe Meeks, the junior quarterback, easily having his best showing of the year. really was very turnover prone against Kansas and Baylor, but tonight has held on the ball very well.
You see the quarterback sneak here. This is what quarterbacks are starting to do a lot of now. Not just getting the snap and diving, but hesitating for a second, waiting to see which offensive lineman, whether it's one of the guards or the center, getting the best push and just following him. Meeks does a nice job here in waiting, anticipating, and then finding that little crease to get down.
Not only is Northwestern State moving the ball, so far 9 plays, 71 yards on this drive, and flags fly, and there's going to be a false start on the offensive line. Well, apparently Demetrius Bell likes to cause attention to himself. We just show something positive, and he gets something negative. So there you go. We'll back it up 5. But what I was going to say, Chris, is they are chewing up the clock as well. This drive has been lasted a long time. We're under 9 minutes. This is only their first time they've had the ball here in the second half.
And I'm surprised to see them not throwing the ball. They did so much of that in the first half. They're trying to run it, and like you said, really wear that clock out and rely on their defense.
Meeks now play action pass. He's looking over the middle. He doesn't have anybody. Still on his feet. Gets dragged down from behind and just slammed to the ground. Big number 93. That's James Parker with the sack. And great coverage downfield by the Delaware State defensive backs.
Exactly, JC. That's where you got to credit this secondary from really not giving Meeks the time to find the open receivers. That's really a coverage sack. Meeks does a nice job as far as being smart, holding on to the ball, and not forcing the ball when there's nothing open.
6 yards. Loss on the sack. So bring him a second down and long. They need to get inside the 10 to the 8 to get a first down. And now all kinds of guys at the line of scrimmage. They're bringing the house. And the pass falls incomplete, intended out there for Adam Varnado, and just a little bit underthrown by Ricky Joe.
And that's something you've got to execute when you have that house blitz coming up the middle. Meeks gets rid of the ball. Yes, you do negate the blitz by having an incomplete pass, but you'd like to negate it even more. If we can freeze it right there, look at that, all that blitzing coming up there in the middle. Meeks does a nice job getting rid of the ball. Unfortunately, couldn't get the completion.
The current drive, 10 plays, 66 yards, 3 minutes and 15 seconds have elapsed off the clock. And the clock reads 7:57, 3rd and 15. Northwestern State would love a few more yards to get into field goal territory. Now Meeks back to pass. Good coverage down the field. He's got a man open. It floats and floated a little bit too long. Intended down there for number 17, Chris Miller, but that one was in the air way too long and nearly intercepted.
That's exactly right, JC. You've got to put this ball on a line a little bit more. You see how it just hangs there, hangs. It enables the corner to come back and get involved in the play rather than just that one-on-one coverage. It's a simple smash route. You've got the corner out on the inside in the hitch, so he throws the corner out because the corner sits. But because of all that air, it enables the corner to drop off the hitch route and go and try to make a play and break up that pass.
Kofi Amoa nearly came down with the interception, but nice pass defense. Sets up a field goal try. It'll be a 44-yard field goal try for Robert Weeks. 2 for 2 in the first half. Snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is up. And the kick is straight down the middle with plenty to spare. That would have been good from 54.
Oh, yeah.
So Robert Weeks with his 3rd field goal of the night. And Northwestern State, in a very workmanlike performance, increases their lead. Delaware State's got to get something done. They trail by 13. After that 44-yard field goal by Robert Weeks, increased the lead to 13, 7:46 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Chris Ricks, Jonathan Coachman, there you see the Demons scoring drive, 13 plays, 66 yards, 4 minutes and 28 seconds. And even though they lead by 13, right now the offense has been unable to finish other than the one time tonight, Chris. Efficiency
and time off the clock. That's what you like to see if you're an offensive coordinator. You see there the 13 plays, 66 yards, nearly 5 minutes off the clock. Like to have result in a touchdown, but 3 points as a coach, you're not going to complain.
Tunsil takes it at the 5. The coverage breaks down, flags fly, and he gets knocked down at the 18. So this drive in all likelihood will start inside of their own 10. So right now, nothing going right whatsoever for Delaware State.
They've got to pick things up. They can't hang their heads. We've still got another basically quarter and a half to play football.
So an illegal push in the back will march 10 yards off. And Bashawn Winton, what a difference a week makes, or a couple of weeks make.
Oh, yeah.
Last week was great. First week was very efficient as well. but this week has run into a defense that is playing very, very well, very inspired, very enthusiastically. So they'll mark it all the way back at the 6. So 94 yards of pasture in between Delaware State and a touchdown.
And JC, you talk about what a difference a week makes. Let's look at the other side of the ball. A week makes a big difference for Northwestern State. After being 0-2, it shows playing top quality opponents like Kansas and Baylor. This game isn't over, but they're definitely looking like they're in a comfortable position tonight.
The average starting position in this drive is not helping Delaware State whatsoever. Winton hands it off to the lone back through, tripped up in the backfield. That's Emmanuel Mark. Nowhere for him to go. Nice play down there by number 50, D. Michael Robinson, the junior from San Augustine, Texas.
Very nice penetration by the Demon defense, and more importantly, we're seeing the lack of confidence the Hornets have in their passing game. They don't have a lot of time. In my opinion, they have to go to the air if they're going to get back in this ball game. The running game hasn't been there in the second half, so they've got to have some confidence in their passing game if they can just give Winton some time. And
the play clock already down to 6-5, and Winton is just now getting up to the line of scrimmage. So a little confusion on the offensive front as well. Winton now still looking for a man. He's deep down the left side, and that one's going to be intercepted. Intercepted by Russ Washington. He's going to cut across the middle, and he may be able to go. He's got one man to beat. He stops and cuts back up the middle. And now Washington taken down at the 18. A bad decision by Winton. And capitalizing is the defense. And now Northwestern State is back in business inside the red zone.
Well, it's something you can't do if you're a quarterback. Look one way and come back the other way. Winton just took too long to develop this play. We see here from the end zone angle, we can freeze it right there. He's looking this way, he's looking this way. And then if we can roll it, he comes back and throws the other way, trying to get outside the pocket, gives the defense time to recover, and that safety is reading his eyes the whole way. Comes back and makes that interception. If you're Winton, you've got to pick a side and work a side or throw the ball away.
Coach Stoker said that Washington was the big play guy, and that's exactly the big play that Northwestern State was looking for. Whistles blow. And I believe there was a timeout called. Yep, the Delaware State defense has called a timeout, and right now they are reeling. Northwestern State, well, they're rolling. They lead by 13, and they want more. Will they get it? We'll find out when we come back.
Grandpa.
And other poisonous fumes.
Here of Sean Winton. If you see him, here we see it in slow motion. He's dropping. Now he looks right here. He's looking right. Then he flushes out of the pocket to the left, and that gives the defensive back time to recover, read his eyes. And when you see a quarterback as a DB, if you see a quarterback rolling left, you know he's going to throw that side. And that gave Washington a perfect opportunity to float over and make the interception.
So first down inside the 20 at the 18, and flags fly, and there's going to be movement across the offensive line for Northwestern State. And there you see the frustration on the face of Coach Stoker. And even though they're winning by 13, it certainly hasn't been a pretty performance or a fluid performance. But when you're 0-2, you need a W no matter how you can get it, and that's exactly what they are on their way to. There you see lots of penalties tonight. Lots of laundry. At the bounce. Here we go. First down and 15. Back at the 23 for Meeks. He hands it off to the second back through, and the ball's on the ground. The ball is fumbled and recovered by Delaware State. Patrick Earl put it down on the ground, and it's recovered by number 27, Akeem Green. And just like that, back-to-back turnovers, and Delaware State has the ball again.
And that's Patrick Earl, the young freshman running back, lack of experience, and that's where it shows. You've got to hold on to the ball. You see him coming through traffic here. He's got to tuck one hand, and it just comes out there at the end. It was pretty close to being down, but I think that ball came out before his knee hit the ground. That's where you see the inexperience and the youth of a freshman running back not emphasizing that ball security.
Yeah, clearly right there you see from that angle that the ball did come out. So Patrick Earl turns it over, puts the ball on the ground, and Delaware State avoids near disaster. Who's going down by 3 scores, would pretty much have salted this one away. But now, new life, and the Hornets have the ball back. Winton hands it off to the back coming out of the backfield, Adam Shrewsbury. And you talk about what they're used to and what they've gotten tonight. Certainly not running the ball up to their standards.
No, we see their average after the first couple games, almost 300 yards rushing tonight in almost the end of 3 quarters, only 61 yards. So that Demon defense doing a phenomenal job as far as shutting down that run game, forcing Winton to go to the passing game, and it's just not there for them right now, JC.
And using the hurry-up offense, but right now it seems like from looking up here there's a lot of confusion, not really knowing what they want to run, and players coming on at the last minute, and the play clock down to 5, down to 4, down to 3, and just now getting into position for Winton. And now a bad snap, the ball's on the ground, Winton does recover, but all the way back at the 7, and just what I was talking about. They weren't even hardly set, back snap, and now it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Hornet offense.
Very unpolished look from this Hornet offense. Things are rushed, and there's not a lot of rhythm there. You see a low snap. Winton isn't able to handle it. Lucky that number 11, C.L. Grogan, who was on a corner blitz, had the anticipation there. Lucky that they didn't turn that ball over deep in their own territory.
A loss of 12 on the play. So it'll bring up a 3rd down, 22 from the 7-yard line. And you can see right now there's a lot of frustration in the body language of the offensive line. And also now Winton is going to use another timeout, if you can believe it. Wow. The play clock was down to 1 again, and they use another timeout. And it's going from bad to worse with 3:46 remaining here in this 3rd quarter, and everything is starting to unravel for Delaware State, Chris.
Yeah, and this Delaware State coaching staff is not happy. We got a shot of them. We missed, actually. They were waving their hands, and you could tell they were mad that they had to waste a timeout there. They're just not organized, and organization is key for a football team, especially the communication between coaches and players, and right now it's just not there, and it's showing just how unpolished they are as far as their communication and getting people on the field and getting the play called.
Well, folks, CSTV features more powerhouse matchups from campuses across the country next week with a men's soccer doubleheader on Tuesday night. Starting at 8 Eastern, American travels to Lafayette to take on Mark Price and the Leopards. Then it's on to the Great Plains, where Creighton hosts Yale, who recently knocked off the ACC's Boston College. It's all Tuesday night. Where else? Come on, see Ricks, right here on CSTV. You never know what you're going to get on CSTV throughout the entire fall, throughout the entire year. I know you're a big soccer fan.
The other football? Yeah, the other football? Yeah, sure. I like some soccer.
Obviously, a big year with the World Cup and all that, so obviously tune in Tuesday. But right now, you're tuning into a 3rd and 22. Total yards, Northwestern State 214. Delaware State being shut down as far as what they are used to. Now Winton hands off to the second back through. That's Mark. He's got some room on the outside. He cuts back up across the 20 to the 21, but he needed a lot more than that. He needed to get all the way out to the 30. Was not able to do so. It'll bring him a punting situation.
Mark had a lot of room to run on the outside here, JC. I don't know why he cuts it back in. If he would have just stayed on the outside, there was one man to beat out there. He cuts it back in to where the defense is and where all the defenders are coming. Surprised to see him cut that in where he could have kept it on the outside. Probably picked up a lot more yards.
Josh Bright back to punt. Jasper Edwards standing back at his 40 for the Demons. And now the whistles blow again. I wonder if they're discussing where they're going to have dinner. I know where I'm going to eat after the game. Sideline warning on Northwestern State. The next time it will be a penalty.
Yep.
So now back to action on 4th down.
That's
and
why
right
they have
to
that
punt.
white box there, Jason. You see that white box, and the coaches, everyone has to stay within that box and their side of the 25-yard line.
Snap is good. Bright, nearly gets it blocked, and there's going to be, the flag's going to come out. They do throw the flag. Edwards takes it back at the 30, and we'll see if that's going to be a roughing the kicker or a running into the kicker. But Bright, no doubt, was ran into just as he was getting the punt away.
And that's something that's tough when you come and try to block a kick. If you don't tip the ball and you touch the kicker, it's a penalty. Now, if he would have tipped that, wouldn't have been a penalty, but obviously he doesn't get his hand on it, runs into Bright. That's going to give him a brand new 1st down for Delaware State.
We'll see what Delaware State decides to do. They obviously could take the with it just being running into the kicker penalty. They'll obviously take the end of the kick, which was all the way down to 32, instead of replaying that kick for a 5-yard penalty. But, you know, you talk about Northwestern State, there's obviously been a lot of good players that have played here over the years. All-pro honors, former Demons. Look at that, Jackie Smith. What a great tight end he was. Mark Duper with the Miami Dolphins.
Bobby Hebert. I remember watching him as a kid.
Terrence McGee was an All-Pro last year with the Buffalo Bills as a kick returner. So some great athletes have come through Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Remember as a kid, I thought it was Bobby Hebert. My dad said, no, Chris, it's Hebert.
There's a lot of different pronounced words down here in Cajun country.
Oh, yeah.
That we're getting used to. Obviously, Hebert, a good quarterback with the New Orleans Saints at one time as well.
Yep.
So now Lawrence gets the call for Northwestern State. He'll get maybe a yard up to the 33 as we are nearing the end of the third quarter. Under 3 minutes to play. A very uneventful third quarter. Only a field goal at halftime. It was 13-3. Weeks has added a field goal. But I think right now, if you ask Northwestern State and Coach Stoker, he would say he would take this score, go to the house, take the win, and move on to next week.
I think he would, but I think at the end of the day, Coach Stoker knows that his lead is not safe. All they need is a few more scores, and they're back in this ball game. So he definitely wants to see his offense put some more points up on the board.
Meeks fakes it. He's got a man streaking down the middle of the field, one-on-one coverage. And nicely done down there. A flag flies as well, completed to Chris Miller, who did a great job of getting his ball in between the man. And a beautiful lead for Meeks. And that's going to be a first down all the way down at the Delaware State 28.
Another nice job again by Meeks, putting the ball at a good angle and not changing his receiver for depth. If we can freeze it right here, he's going to throw the ball not here towards receiver, but downfield, so his receiver has a chance to catch the ball. Very well thrown by Meeks, giving his receiver a chance.
Well, pass interference was called on the play. Obviously, it'll be declined as there was a completed pass. So the Demons are back in business. A beautiful pitch and catch, courtesy Ricky Joe Meeks. So now first down and 10. I formation. Lawrence is the deep back. And now the play is blown up, but again, Lawrence continues the play. He gets down to the 21, pushed down at the 20, and for whatever reason, Delaware State yet again stopped playing in a 9-yard gain.
Well, they took a gamble there, blitzing up the middle. Almost had Lawrence caught in the backfield. You see him coming right up the middle, blowing by. Meeks does a good job getting the ball off to Lawrence, and then he's past the rush now. They've over-pursued, and he's able to get outside, pick up at least a couple yards, but more importantly, not a big loss.
They're going to knock him, they're going to mark him out back at the 21. So it'll be good for 7 yards. But second down and 3 for the Demons. You see the numbers for Byron Lawrence, 14 rushes, 79 yards on the night. Meeks, he's going to throw it again. He's got a man breaking open over the middle this time again. Varnado is the man who broke nicely over the middle. Meeks led him again. Another first down. First and goal, Northwestern State.
Nice job by Meeks waiting for his receiver to clear that defender. There was a safety out there that was between Meeks and his receiver, Varnado, but he waits for him to clear the back and leads him perfectly for a nice pitch and catch.
And you have to wonder if at this point, the Delaware State defense, Chris, they've been on the field a lot, especially in this third quarter. Quick snap to Lawrence, caught the defense off guard. He's going to go over. We'll see if they call it. And there are flags from the back judge. They're going to call him just short. They're going to mark him down at the 1. We'll see what the infraction is. A lot of penalties here tonight.
A lot of laundry coming out in the second half, like you said, JC.
Lots of conversating.
Is it conversating? Is it conversating or conversing?
I think, well, if we have to talk about that, then we are bored. Well, right now, you got to wonder if we're going to eat at Mama's or Papa's down the road here at Natchitoches, Louisiana. Lots of things to talk about here in this little town. So, too many men on the field. In all likelihood,
Delaware State trying to get some help on defense.
They're doing whatever they can.
Let's try to sneak another guy out there, see if we can hold them.
Illegal participation called against Delaware State. 2 men on the field. Demons declined a penalty and took the play.
Okay, so there you go. Too many men on the field. Declined because the result of the play is the ball being placed at the 1-foot line. So it'll bring up a second down and about a foot for Northwestern State, who is knocking on the door again. It's been utter domination here in this third quarter by the Demons.
Inches.
High formation behind Meeks. Lawrence is the deep back. Meeks gives it to the first back through. That's Austin. He gets met at the line of scrimmage, bounces off, but he's going to lose about a half a yard, and it'll bring up a third down and a great surge by the defensive line of Delaware State.
Interesting call here, giving the ball to Dante Austin. We talked about it earlier. Hasn't had a lot of carries tonight, and the few he has had hasn't got a gain. So I'm surprised not to see them do a toss sweep to Byron Lawrence or give it to him up the middle. You see a lot of those running backs. We saw LaDainian Tomlinson do it last week, JC, jumping over the top. When you have those small, athletic running backs, just giving them the ball.
And now quickly to the line of scrimmage. Lawrence will get the call, and he sneaks in there, and they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line again. And that time, Northwestern State tried to get the quick handoff to Lawrence, didn't fool anybody, and now it's going to bring up 4th down and goal and decision time for Coach Stoker.
When you've got a running back that caliber, that small, who can explode, that's why you want to send him over the top or get him outside. You don't want to send him up the middle where all those linemen are laying on the ground trying to get that push. There's just not a lot of room for him to run there.
Well, I don't know if Coach Stoker realizes it, but he can let the quarter clock run out. He does not have to run another play in this quarter.
I wouldn't rush it.
Well, they're going to head and go for it. That's going to be Earl straight up the middle. We'll see if he gets in, and he does for a touchdown. Patrick Earl, touchdown, Northwestern State. Well, the man who just fumbled a few moments ago gets a confidence booster and takes it over from 1 yard out.
Well, you make a good point, JC. They want to get that score before the end of the half. We thought they may wait and not rush the play, but they get it off, and Earl makes up for that fumble, gets in the end zone for the 6.
Right now, Northwestern State is wearing down the defense from Delaware State. Robert Weeks in for the extra point. Snap is a little bit suspect, but held nicely. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter as well. It was all Northwestern State in that third quarter on 4th down. Patrick Earl takes it over from 1. We go to the 4th. Northwestern State is dominating.
Making a difference for yourself.
They leads by 20, and Chris, right here, I tell you what, all kinds of pressure by Northwestern State.
Well, here we're able to see how many guys they're blitzing. Let's roll it. Then we're able to see if we can stop it right here. We've got a guy here, up the middle, and then more coming on the outside. All that pressure, let's roll the play. Wynn just not able to get anything done with them bringing those house blitzes. Very well done by this defense, applying all this pressure on Wynn here, especially in the second half.
Well, Northwestern State will take over on offense at their own 36 after the personal foul call on the early hit on the punt. So 11-24 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Meeks hands it off to the lone back in the backfield. That's number 24, Raquel Massey, and he just carries guys. Just breaking tackle after tackle out past midfield to the 48-yard line of Delaware State. And Massey, 5'11", 218 pounds from Hillsboro, Texas.
What a run by Massey. It took about 4 or 5 Hornet defenders to bring him down. We see one right there, breaking 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. You got to wrap him up. You can't just hit him. And Massey just driving, picking up at least another 5 to 7 more yards after contact.
16 yards on the carry. Good for a first down. First down at 10 for Northwestern State as the clock continues to roll. They lead by 20. Meeks to Massey again. He's going to try the outside. Stays on his feet. Still stays on his feet. What a hard runner this Massey is. Only got about 2 yards, but it sure was fun to watch.
It looks like you rushing the ball out there, JC.
Nah, don't get crazy.
Not that you've ever rushed, but if you did, I'm sure.
If I were to have rushed, I would have done that. Sure.
Massey just fighting out there. Again, it takes about 4 or 5 of these Delaware State defenders just to bring him down. You like to see that in your running back fighting for yardage.
Well, total yardage, Northwestern State just hit 300, and it's been a very workmanlike 300 yards to say the least. 2nd down and 8 as they continue to chew up yardage and chew up the clock, more importantly, here in this 4th quarter. Meeks back to pass. He's got good protection. He fires it on the far side. Good hands down there by Varnado, and that'll be good for another 1st down. Great coverage, too, but that one pulled in by Varnado. We've seen tonight he has fantastic hands.
He has done well. The thing that impresses me on this play is seeing the young Massey step up and block for his quarterback. We'll see the blitz off the top. Massey steps up, picks up the block, and is able to let Meeks get the ball off for the completion. I like to see that in a young running back when he's able to see, recognize who's coming and who he has, and step up and protect your quarterback.
Under 10 minutes to play now. 1st down and 10 for the Demons. Handoff, 2nd back through, that's Massey in all kinds of room, and Massey the stiff arm inside the 20, down to the 15, fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Delaware State at the 10. Number 3, Tyrone Kelly. So Massey ran hard all the way down to the 15. The ball came out, and the turnover.
There we see the youth again. We saw it on the last play, impressive. Here it's where the youth is not impressive and the inexperience, where he doesn't tuck the ball here. And you're seeing a lot of these defenders, you see him come back and swipe from the bottom. When we played against Miami, a lot of their defenders would always come and try to knock the ball out from the ball carriers, myself included, and try to knock that ball, not just stripping it, but trying to punch it from below. And if you could time that out perfectly, you can cause the ball carrier to fumble the ball a lot of times.
Great punch, so to speak, by Jamel Trott, number 47.
Yep.
And so Delaware State gets the ball back, but now the clock is really starting to be a factor. 9:41 remains here in this 4th quarter. They trail by 20. Offensively, they've done absolutely nothing here tonight for an offense that the first couple of weeks was averaging nearly 48 points a game.
And Massey was hearing it right there from his coach. Protect the ball, son. Protect the ball.
Bashawn Winton now under center. Quick. He's got a man over the middle, but well underthrown. And right now, Winton may be getting a little bit tired, maybe fatigued, maybe not concentrating, but he has not been the quarterback we expected to see here tonight.
Well, you make a good point, JC. He may be exhausted physically, but I think more mentally, he is just drained right now. Things have not been going their way in the 2nd half. You know, this is the player of the week from the past week in the MEAC, defending Rookie of the Year in the conference. That's not what you see in a quarterback. So to see him short-arming and not getting the ball to his receivers, his confidence and the way he's going mentally right now is just not where you want your quarterback to be.
The coaching staff from Delaware State certainly has to go back to the drawing board. The play clock down to 2, down to 1. They do get it off. And now out of the backfield, Mark. He's got some room up the sideline. He lowers his shoulder, bowls over the defender, and gets up and talks a little bit. When you're down 20, never could quite figure that one out. But that'll be just short of a 1st down. They're going to mark him out at the 19. He needed to get to the 20, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 1 for Delaware State.
And Northwestern State still bringing those blitzes. They negated well on that one, dumping it off to Mark, but the pursuit of that secondary, JC, is just so fast, he still has nowhere to go, a minimal gain.
Under 9 minutes now to play here in this 4th quarter. Winton hands it off to the only back through. Breaking a couple tackles, that's Mark. He's breaking to the outside. He's up past the 35, up past the 40, and finally pushed out of bounds by C.L. Grogan. 21 yards on the carry and a 1st down.
Well, I've been very impressed with the way Emmanuel Mark has run the football tonight. He has been the backbone really for this offense, running the ball, catching the ball out of the backfield. Here we see him get to the outside, pick up as many yards as he can. And with even how fast he is, JC, the secondary is so much faster for Northwestern State. They have the angles, and he's just not able to take anything nearly as far as he would want to take it.
4 wide receivers for Bashawn Winton. Back to pass. He's got a man over the middle. Nice pitch and catch with that one after the hit. Hits the ground incomplete. Intended for number 88, Eric Jones. And it's funny because you watch this game and it's obvious you've been there and that when you get in a situation like this, you're down 20. Not that you were down 20, I'm not saying that, but you lose your concentration. Late in the game is what I'm talking about. You can lose your concentration. And right now it appears like Delaware State is doing just that.
Yeah, and that's where it's tough. As players, you think, oh, we're not going to win the game. Let's get the heck out of here. I want to go home. But as coaches, you want to work on things so you can improve for the next week. So the coaches definitely don't look at this game as being over.
Winton keeps it. He's going to try the far sideline, gets a couple of nice blocks, and he'll run himself out at the 48. Over there with number 16, Gary Riggs, pushing Winton out. gain of about 6. It'll bring him a 3rd down and long 4 with 8:28 remaining here in this 4th quarter. You can see on both sides of the ball this heat and humidity is really starting to get to both squads.
Oh yeah, I mean, even though we're in September and it's starting to cool down a little bit here in the South, it's still very hot. It still feels like summer, as I'm sure it'd be in upstate New York or out in California. It's very hot, very sticky out here. It still feels like summer, does not feel like mid-fall.
3rd down and 4. Winton out. He's got some room up the middle. He's going to run for a 1st down. Goes down at the 47, but it is enough for a 1st down. The clock will stop until the chains are reset, and we will continue.
Winton just trying to make something happen with his legs, having to step up in that pocket a lot. When he's been able to throw, he's tried to, but here just trying to pick up some yards, protect the football, and more importantly, JC, protect himself.
Coming up next week, Northwestern State has Arkansas Monticello on their schedule, and
Monticello.
There's a couple weeks off for Delaware State. They'll take on Hampton in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks from tonight. So they've got some time to work on all the deficiencies that have been exploited here tonight.
Yep.
So Emmanuel Mark on the carry. As we are under 8 minutes now remaining here in this 4th quarter. Chris Ricks, I'm Jonathan Coachman. We are in Natchitoches, Louisiana, about 70 miles south of Shreveport. This beautiful historic town. And we are high above, as you can see.
Aerial view.
The aerial view. I almost feel like I'm in a blimp tonight. We're that high. 2nd down and 10 for the Hornets. Winton now looks to his right. He's got a man out there. That's McBride. The reception is made. Quickly taken down at the 42. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
That's what I'm talking about, seeing the quick hitches. I'm surprised that the Hornet offense hasn't gone to more of that in this 2nd half. Eric Day has chosen, the offensive coordinator for Delaware State, has chosen to go to more of the long, setting up in the pocket. So there we saw it right there, JC. A nice pitch and catch on the outside, throwing a hitch to McBride. Again, surprised that we haven't seen more of that in the 2nd half.
So now 3rd down and 5, and they're bringing the house. Everybody's coming for Northwestern State. Winton escapes, at least initially. He's got a man down there. McBride falls down. The pass was thrown well short and well out of bounds. McBride had his man beaten, but Northwestern State brought everybody.
They did, and it didn't give Winton a lot of time to step up in the pocket, as we've seen a lot tonight. He gets outside the pocket, and as we saw in our game the other night, when you're rolling to the left, it's hard to throw with all the momentum. Here, we saw Winton running to the right. We're going to see him scramble outside the pocket to the right side, and when you throw this ball, if you're going to get it straight downfield, you have to throw it more to the left side, because that momentum that you're running is going to carry. He throws it straight at McBride, but because of his momentum, we see the ball sails way out of bounds, about 5 yards out of bounds. Doesn't even give McBride a chance to catch a football.
And the Hornets will go for it on 4th down from the Demons 42. Flags do fly. It's really amazing that there have been so many delay of game calls, and now instead of going for a 4th and 10, I don't really understand this, but Delaware State's going to punt.
Well, they're trying to obviously work on their punting game, and they don't have the confidence in their offense to get the 1st down, and that's where, if you're Vashawn Winton, the quarterback, you've got to keep your eye on that play clock. That's why we've seen a lot of these delay of games, JC. The quarterback always has to have his eye on that clock in the back of the end zone. He hasn't, and that's why we've seen a lot of delay of game penalties.
Right, we'll punt again. A low liner. And it will bounce at the 16 and will go out of bounds at about the 17. And the Demons will take over, but they are well on their way to victory number 1 this year. Domination here tonight.
It's Packers, and to cap it all off, the Houston
State leads it by 20. It's been a pretty good decade here in Natchitoches for Northwestern State football.
Oh yeah,
to say the least. Certainly in the Division I AA, 9 winning seasons since 1996, 4 8-win seasons, 3 Southland Conference championships, and now that they're back in their Division I AA schedule and not playing Big 12 opponents and SEC opponents, maybe they can get back on the winning track here this year.
I think so. I think that's going to help in their favor, keeping this dominance going and their streaks going, being that they're getting back to that kind of schedule. But you can be sure that Coach Stoker is going to keep this program going, knowing the pride and the history he knows. He definitely wants to keep that legacy moving on.
Ricky Joe Meeks has gone the entire way for the Demon offense. And he'll hand it off to Lawrence. And Lawrence finds some room on the left side. He'll go out of bounds up around the 21, pushed out there by Akeem Green. And Northwestern State would love just to run this clock out and claim victory number 1 on the 06 season. Lawrence has been very, very productive here tonight. The young running back has shown quick feet to get to the outside and acceleration when he has gotten to the outside.
And Lawrence, just a sophomore. He's going to have a nice couple of years, probably set some records here at Northwestern State.
Guess what?
Penalty?
Another penalty. You're right. You win the prize. It's Cracker Jack time.
They don't even give prizes anymore, I don't think, in Cracker Jacks. Last time I got one,
we're going to give one tonight.
It was a sticker. That's not a prize. I'm looking for the Dakota ring, JC.
Coach Stoker, even though he's got a 20-point lead, has been very sloppy. Lots of penalties. We'll bring up a 2nd down and 9 after that 5-yard mark-off. Meeks hands it back to Lawrence again. He follows his blocking, gets up past the 20, up to about the 22. So about 3 yards on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and the clock approaches 6 minutes to play here in this 4th quarter. In the second half, it's been all Northwestern State.
It has, especially with these running backs, JC. The way they've tag teamed this together with Lawrence, Skidmore, Earl, and even the young back in Massey. They've done a good job as far as trading off, but being consistent with their running game, taking a lot of that pressure off the quarterback and Meeks.
Play clock is down to 10. Meeks and his offense at the 21. Pitches back. This time, nice blocking. Getting up past the 30 is Lawrence, up past the 33. Plenty of yardage for another 1st down, and the chains will move. Could not be Tunsil on the tackle. And Lawrence, with that last run, just went over 100 yards on the night.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, JC, the way that Lawrence has been running the ball tonight, guaranteeing at least 3, 4, if not 5 yards on every run. Not the biggest back, but very explosive, very powerful. Once you get him outside the tackles with space to run, he's been very effective for this offense.
So 1st down and 10. As the clock begins to run again, there you see a very productive, hard-running evening for Byron Lawrence. Meeks will go back to pass. He's got a man over the middle. Nice pitch and catch. Complete out there to the 48-yard line to number 9, Derek Doyle. And Meeks showing a nice arm and threaded the needle up to the 48.
Yeah, nice touch on this pass by Meeks. If he throws this ball any flatter, any lower, that's intercepted by the linebacker. Puts a nice little touch on it right over the linebacker where he can't get it. Nice completion to number 9, Derek Doyle.
Good for another Demon 1st down. And Meeks was a guy who Coach Stoker said at the beginning of the night, you can see over 200 yards passing, that if he started turning the ball over, he would be a guy that he would yank out with no problem. But Ricky Joe Meeks must have heard the message loud and clear. And you hear the whistle, loud and clear. Another penalty.
False start.
You know, Chris, I'd be interested to get your thoughts on some of the scores from around the country today. Obviously, the big one, LSU and Tennessee, low scoring, LSU and Auburn getting the big win.
Yeah, and again, we saw the game in week 1, Miami, Florida State. When you have these big powerhouses that meet up, it's usually defense dominated. That's what we saw today in a lot of the big games. Offense is not putting a lot of points up on the board.
Michigan went into Notre Dame and put 47 on the board against the Irish.
Wow.
Lawrence up the middle, gets out past midfield and into Delaware State territory. Good for about 7.
I don't know if he's noticed, JC, there's a lot of shoes flying around tonight. There's been a lot of cleats coming off, flying around, hitting guys in the helmets. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've seen a lot of players' shoes coming off. I guess they're not tying their shoes very tight these days.
I guess not. Louisville with these win over Miami 31-7. So scores from around the country. And separation Saturday, and Ohio State submitting their #1 ranking. They beat Cincinnati today 37-7 alongside Chris Ricks. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is CSTV Football Nation.
Doing, JC?
You're not doing too bad. And now Lawrence will take it up the middle. And he'll be wrapped up at about the 46. The clock continues to run approaching 3.5 minutes to go in this ball game.
Talk about Meeks, the quarterback for Northwestern State. I love that last name. I had an offensive lineman at Florida State, Bobby Meeks. Jimmy Higgins, the offensive line coach, Southern guy, used to say, "Hey, Meeks, come on, Meeks, get over here, Meeks." And we always used to laugh at the way he pronounced Meeks. So reminds me of Bobby when I see Ricky Joe Meeks out here tonight.
Well, there's a man down for Delaware State. We're going to take a quick break. Northwestern State is driving.
Meeks.
To be the best.
Northwestern State leads it by 23, 22 remaining here in the 4th quarter. It's been all Demons here tonight. And right now, Ricky Joe Meeks and his offense have a 3rd down and 6 from the 46 of Delaware State. Hand off to Patrick Earl. And he will pull his way down to the 42, maybe to the 41. And we're under 3 minutes to play now. It'll bring up a 4th down and probably a punting situation. I would doubt that Northwestern State would go for it here.
We saw him obviously trying to run the clock out, trying to really milk that clock and get out of here with the victory. But like you said, JC, interesting to see what they're going to do. If they're going to go for it, they only got about a yard to go, or if they're going to pooch punt it.
Well, 4th down and a short 2. They are going to go for it. Delaware State, the team averaging nearly 49 points a game, held to just 3 here tonight in a very good defensive showing by Northwestern State. Meeks got a man out there. Doyle, you bet, he makes the catch at the 30. And that should just about do it. Good for another 1st down. And a nice pitch and catch, Meeks to Doyle.
Very well executed. Surprising the play call here. Thought they were going to give it to either Austin or Lawrence up the middle. Makes a nice pass and gets outside the pocket. And what a pass to Doyle, giving the ball where only his receiver can catch it. That ball's anywhere behind, that ball's intercepted. So very calm, cool, collected pass by Ricky Joe Meeks.
That should just about cement the night. On an efficient night, over 200-yard passing, over 300 total yards for Northwestern State. Byron Lawrence over 100 yards on the ground. Patrick Earl will get one more shot on the ground. He'll be taken down at the 27. I believe the ball came out. There's a fumble on the play. And Delaware State does get the ball back. So
wow,
if there is a faulting point on Northwestern State, Patrick Earl has fumbled for the 2nd time here tonight. Coach Stoker none too pleased about it.
And that's where we see the youth and inexperience again of the young freshman. His 2nd fumble of the night. You try to get him in there, try to get him some experience, JC. But when you put a guy in there and he's young, you definitely don't want him turning the ball over. There we see Coach Stoker not too pleased with the young running back.
And right now it's time to take a look at the Volkswagen drive of the game. And it was a 2nd half touchdown by Northwestern State, set up by this nice pitch and catch.
Nice deep ball by Meeks, getting the ball to his receiver, Chris Miller, for the deep pass. And this was all Meeks on this drive, waiting for his receivers to get open, going through his progressions. And then we see the nice touchdown there by Brian Lawrence, a young sophomore, getting the ball in the end zone.
And now Northwestern State and their defense will try to keep Delaware State out of the end zone for the entire night as the clock is under 1.5 minutes to play. So pleased you could join us this week on CSTV Football Nation. Later on this year, obviously, Northwestern State, they have a very, very difficult schedule, and the service that provides how difficult of a schedule they have says that Northwestern State in Division I AA has the 2nd most difficult schedule in the entire country.
And this is something they needed tonight, JC. Yep. They needed this win to build their confidence to endure them through their tough schedule.
And a fumble now. A fumble on the play. The ball is on the ground. And it looks like Delaware State was able to get back on top of it. They were, but it's all the way back inside the 10. Well, folks, he's loud, outspoken, and not afraid to let you know how he feels. Not C. Ricks. He's CSTV's Brian Curtis. Join us Tuesday night at 7 Eastern for the premiere of Taking Issue with Brian Curtis, as Brian tackles topics throughout college sports, interviewing experts, athletes, and celebrities, answering viewer emails, and offering his opinion, whether you ask for it or not. Taking Issue with Brian Curtis only on CSTV. And trust me when I tell you, Brian Curtis does not care what you think about him. He will say it like it is. Should be interesting to watch that, the premiere this Tuesday of Taking Issue with Brian Curtis. So now 3rd and long, and Emmanuel Mack will run the ball out past the 10. Some nifty moves up past the 20, out to the 25. As the clock is inside of a minute to play. And there should be time for just one more play in this ball game, a game that has been dominated from the defensive side of the ball by Northwestern State.
And I'll tell you one thing, JC, Emmanuel Mark has done his job tonight. We saw him bending over there. He's tired. He's been the workhorse for this Hornet offense. He has done his job, led his offense. Unfortunately for Vashawn Winton, the quarterback, didn't have a lot of time to operate tonight. They need to get some protection things down and try to work on some side adjusts for all those blitzes, because I guarantee when opponents look at this film, they're going to know that the weakness to get to this offense is to bring the house and blitz a lot.
And no more plays will be run. They'll just let the clock run out, and that's going to do it. So Delaware State came in averaging 49 points a game, and they scored tonight just 3. Northwestern State gets their first win of the year in their home opener of 2006. One more time, your final score tonight, 23-3, Northwestern State. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Fast. We are back in Natchitoches, Louisiana. There you see your final, 23-3, Northwestern State over Delaware State. Alongside Chris Ricks, I'm Jonathan Coachman on a very sticky evening in Louisiana. And Chris, the defense for Northwestern State was very sticky as well.
Well, they were, and Mike Collins, the defensive coordinator for Northwestern State, did a great job bringing a lot of blitzes, putting a lot of pressure on that offense. And if I'm out 11, I've got to build in some side adjusts to negate all those blitzes. It's going to be a long week of practice for that Delaware State offense.
A long couple of weeks. They don't play again for a couple of weeks until they play Hampton on the 30th. Well, right now it's time for the serious player of the game from Northwestern State, Byron Lawrence.
Well, you can't ignore it. He didn't have maybe the most off-the-chart stats, 21 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown, but his efficiency, the way he ran the football, the important yards that he picked up at crucial times, I've got to give him the player of the game. He was really the backbone of this Demon offense tonight, JC.
The 100th career win here at Turpin Stadium for Northwestern State, and they do it in impressive fashion. Once again, our final score tonight, 23-3 is your final. Northwestern State on top. For Chris Ricks and our entire CSTV crew, I am Jonathan Coachman. Folks, for the latest scores, news, and highlights and analysis, log on to CSTV.com. This has been a presentation of CSTV, College Sports Television, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports. So long from Turpin Stadium in Natchitoches, Louisiana. And remember, make every day a great day. I told you it was sticky. Good night from Louisiana.
And you got your old coach, John Gruden. Your thoughts of that matchup?
How you doing, Coach? I'll see you later.
All right, Jerry. Jim, back to you.
Yeah, we'll be hearing all about that all week long, that's for sure. The Raiders and the Bucks in San Diego next Sunday. We're going to come back in just a moment and hear from Jeff Fisher, head coach of the Titans, when we continue on the Subway Postgame Show in a moment.